Hello, everyone, and welcome to this very historic and awesome occasion. Today, after weeks and weeks of voting, we are going to be, or I am going to be, shouting to the world all of the nominees for the 2022 Cinemateq Film Awards. It is the first time that we have done these awards, and this is the first time we've ever done anything like this. It's pretty wild, it's pretty crazy, it's pretty awesome. I'm going to be waiting just a few minutes for people to get in here so no one misses anything. Hello, Dory. Good to see you. And naturally, the best way to kill time waiting for people to join the stream is to play Wordle. Let's do this. Now, since this is an award themed version of this last stream, I'm going to start with Oscar, see what happens. Oh, got the C in the right place, and we got an A. All right. Okay. Um, Award? No, I wouldn't do that. What are some other film words that I could use here? I actually have like an entire notepad thing full of it. Let me see. Let me just open that quickly. Film words. What would work here? Focus. Ooh, that would actually be another good one with the C, although we know that there's no O. Actor. Ooh, interesting. But we already have the AC and the O in the first one. Trying to figure out. Ooh, light. I think we used light in the last one, though. Point? Angle? Ooh, yeah, let's do angle. I like angle. As in camera angle. So the A doesn't go there. That's too bad. How about... No, wouldn't do frame. That doesn't make sense. Drunk? I wish. But yeah, let's try that. Drunk. Nothing. Ooh, we are striking out, ladies and gentlemen. And cinephiles alike. Shots. No, we've already tried the S. Match. As in match cut? No. Films. Does that give us anything? Films? It gives us a few things. Films. Oh, got an I that's in the wrong spot. All right. Dangerously running out of real estate here. This one was near impossible. I got on the last guess. Brett, you're not filling me with confidence here. All right. I think I need to stop doing film words now and concentrate on what this might actually be. I know it's an I and an A and a C. So the A doesn't go there, so it's more than likely in the second position. So, oh, this isn't one with like a double letter, is it? God damn it. Those are always hard to suss out. Story? Story. I guess I haven't done anything with the T yet. What if I did TAC and then, what's a good way to finish that off? Just tax? Okay. TAC, TACI? TACI, tac. What? Or does it end with the I? W, tac, Q, no. P, tac, tacit? No. Tactic? No. Tacic? Tacic is a word, I'm pretty sure. TACIC. H. Tacky, tac, Z. Yeah, I think it might be this. Or that's not a word. TAC. Eight, no. No, that's not a word. Oh my goodness. To people who are just joining in, I will be announcing the Cinemateq Film Award nominees soon, but we're just waiting for some more people to get in here, giving them a bit of time. Trying to figure out this Wordle. TAC, tac. Like that isn't a word. So it's got to be... Tacket? No way. What even is that word? Holy shit. Brett, looks like we both got it on the last one. What is tacket? Understood or implied without being stated. Oh, tack it. Okay. So when I put in TACIC, that's kind of what I was going for. Hey, it looks like we got some more people watching. So I guess that means that it's time to reset this and start getting into who the nominees are. I guess a good way to start this off would be just to remind everybody of kind of the rules about how this all worked. We had a nomination voting ballot where you could nominate up to 3 films. It was a ranked ballot, so your first choice got 5 points, your second choice got 3 points, and your third choice got 1 point. And then everything was all added up together, and that in a number of categories, I believe 23 in total, gave us a number of lists, or gave me a number of lists that I then had to sort and do some data cleaning on. How many people voted, Dory? It was about 55, I believe. 55 votes were cast. So honestly, way more than I was expecting. But really happy with how it came out. The results we will get to, but I will say there are some fun surprises in here. Some fun surprises. In terms of the actual categories themselves, the maximum amount of nominees per category is 10, but there's no minimum number of nominees. Well, I guess probably there would need to be 2 minimum nominees, but we didn't get down that far. So essentially what happened, I did this, I kind of like checked this after I looked at all the different categories, all the different votes, all the different numbers, and the kind of rule that I went with, that every single nominated film had to earn at least 5% of the point total as the basically like the lead point getter in that category. So if a film wasn't able to meet that threshold, then it was excluded and not included in the top 10. The other thing that I did with this, in order to, like, just to ensure kind of a fair ballot, was that if the 10th place film and the 11th place film were both tied, then both films were excluded from the ballot. There was actually one case in one of the categories where I think 4 films were tied with like 11th place and also like 12th and 13th place. So since they were all tied, they were all removed, and it really shortened the category. The reason for this was that I didn't really have a tiebreaker that would have worked or was something that I felt was appropriate. So it's just easier for me to remove the tied films than to pick them on my own. The other reason I did this was that there were some categories where one film in particular got like a bunch of stuff, like just a bunch of votes, and then that meant that a lot of the other films in the category were not getting as many votes. So it just made a lot of sense to exclude some of them, because they obviously weren't getting the same kind of recognition, the same kind of votes as this one top film. And it didn't make sense to include them on a ballot when there was like a clear favorite amongst, like, the top 5 or 6. It's a little bit of a weird way of doing it. I fully acknowledge that, but I think it gets the categories down to a much cleaner, it gets them down to a much tighter space, so we don't have a lot of just like random films coming in like the 8, 9, and 10 positions, unless they clearly define themselves as getting enough votes, like over that 5% threshold, as I mentioned, but also not being tied with films that were much lower than it, that would not have been in contention otherwise. So that is pretty much all of the information. We got Dory here asking if Dune led the way. I mean, the only way to answer that question is if we actually take a look at the nominees. So just give me but a moment to set this thing up. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. There's what I wanted to do. Okay, so we're just going to go through these category by category, and of course, we're going to make it look as fancy as possible. So before I get into this, please remember to like this live stream. Helps other people find it when there's some good engagement going on. And I also want to hear from you guys as I'm going through this. Like, what do you think is going to be up there in each category? What do you think the snubs are? I want to hear all of that good commenting from y'all. So here we go. The Cinemateq Film Awards 2022 nominees. Let's start it off. The first category is original score. Who do you think got in for original score? Oh, by the way, these are listed in alphabetical order. Not proper alphabetical order, and I'll probably explain that a little later on, but basically I sorted this using Excel, and Excel looks at the as just being a T thing instead of like excluding the T and going with the word after the. It's weird. I just didn't have the energy to bother like trying to resort stuff, so it's going in that kind of alphabetical order. So, original score. Let's see who it is. Let's see who it is. Tori saying, I bet Kristen Stewart got snubbed. We'll just have to wait till that category comes up. So, best original score. The nominees are Don't Look Up, Drive My Car, Dune, Encanto, Spencer, Spider-Man No Way Home. Bet you weren't expecting that one. The French Dispatch, The Power of the Dog, Tick Tick Boom, and that is all. So we only have 9 nominees in Best Original Score. Tell me what you think about that. Anything here surprise you? Spider-Man certainly surprised me, but there it is. There it is. Okay, moving on now to Best Hair and Makeup. Let me see what you guys think about this. We got Brett saying that Luca was robbed for Best Original Score. Well, that's something you just have to take up with your fellow cinephiles. It's nothing to do with me. All right, Best Hair and Makeup. Best Hair and Makeup. And yeah, there was no Parallel Mothers in Best Score. So Best Hair and Makeup. We have Cruella, Dune, House of Gucci, Last Night in Soho, Nightmare Alley, Spencer, The Eyes of Tammy Faye, The Green Knight, The Suicide Squad, and Titan. I'm sorry, Dory, no Cyrano. Cyrano was not nominated in this category. Actually, if you guys will just excuse me for one quick second, I think I left my water just back here out of frame. I got it though. It's all good. Brett, all 3 of yours got in for hair and makeup. Well done, well done. I honestly can't remember what I picked for this. It was probably Nightmare Alley, Dune, and something else. Maybe Spencer. I don't know. But there you go. There are your nominees for Best Hair and Makeup. Get mad in the chat if you're mad about this. Or just be happy like Brett's happy. All right. Moving on to the next category. Best Costumes. What are we thinking? What are we thinking? What are we thinking? Let's find out. Cruella, Dune, Last Night in Soho, Nightmare Alley, Spencer, The French Dispatch, The Last Duel, The Suicide Squad, and West Side Story. I assume that's the last one because we're doing this alphabetically. Yeah, so there are your 9 nominees for Best Costumes. Really surprised to see Suicide Squad in this, to be perfectly honest. And that's not the last time I'm going to say that. Hey, we've got Forgotten in here as well. What's up? We've just started. We're on the 3rd category of the evening so far. I will run back through these again if you're showing up a little bit late, or you can just, go back and check a little bit to catch up. But here are your 9 nominees for Best Costumes. Looks like we got Brett on Team Cruella. Well, I wonder if you're going to have any other team wins as we go on. And hello to everyone who is just joining us. We are going through the Cinemateq Film Award nominees for 2022. I think we're on about the 3rd category. So if you just arrived, please make sure to like the live stream so we can maybe get some more people in here. And get in the chat. Let me know what you think about all of the goings-on with these nominees. Licorice Pizza getting robbed. Well, maybe Licorice Pizza will come back a little bit later. The next category, Best Production Design. And the nominees are Dune, Last Night in Soho, Licorice Pizza, see, there it is, Nightmare Alley, Spencer, The French Dispatch, The Green Knight, The Power of the Dog, The Tragedy of Macbeth, and West Side Story, a full 10 film category nominee. I'm so happy, surprised to see French Dispatch in any category. Yeah, it's not, this isn't the only place where it is. It's getting in. It's doing all right for itself. production design equals The King's Man. Well, I'm sorry, Dory, but that is not the case here. The Suicide Squad had some great costumes. I suppose so. I suppose so. The Polka Dot Man. That guy got a pretty good suit. Original score would probably go to Encanto. Well, I guess we'll know for sure when it's time to actually vote on these things. And when will you be able to vote? Well, stick around until the end, and then I'll let you know. So that is production design. Let us now move on to the category Best Editing. And it looks like we got Yassi saying, wow, production design must go to Macbeth. Well, if that's the way you feel, then that's the way you should vote. And the nominees for Best Editing are Dune, Last Night in Soho, Licorice Pizza, Spencer, The French Dispatch, The Lost Daughter, The Power of the Dog, The Suicide Squad, Tick Tick Boom, and West Side Story, another fully stacked 10-film category. Belfast getting snubbed. Yeah, you love to see it, don't you? Best editing equals worst person in the world. Well, unfortunately, Dory, it is not here. Once again, I think the big surprise for me in this category is the Suicide Squad getting nominated. It honestly performed way better than I expected it to, because I really only expected it to get one nomination. But all of you decided that the Suicide Squad should be listed in here. Maybe think that maybe there was a Suicide Squad campaign of some sort, but it's doing really well. And also shout out to the French Dispatch for getting in here. What I like to see is that there are a number of films here that were overlooked by the Oscars getting in. Although, honestly, I have no idea what these categories would look like if we were only doing top 5. So, who's to say? But I like having the 10 because we get a broad selection for people to choose from. And I think we're still going to get some pretty decisive and definitive winners. So now that that is done with editing, let us move on to the very next category. Best Sound. What are we thinking? What do you think? Who's going to be nominated for Best Sound? You better get in the chat and let me know. All right, you've had your time. And the nominees for Best Sound are A Quiet Place Part 2, Come On, Come On, Dune, Encanto, Last Night in Soho, Spider-Man No Way Home, The Power of the Dog, The Tragedy of Macbeth, Tick Tick Boom, and West Side Story. It's nice to see that we have A Quiet Place Part 2 and Come On, Come On in here. I believe these are the first two the first time these two films have been nominated so far. And a number of other films that you would expect to be here. Encanto, Tick Tick Boom, and West Side Story, all musicals. You've got Spider-Man No Way Home, the big comic book film, the big Hollywood blockbuster. And then, of course, Last Night in Soho, The Power of the Dog, and The Tragedy of Macbeth, the indie darlings, rounding it out. Dory saying, Best Sound equals No Time to Die. Unfortunately, no, Dory, I am sorry. That is not how the rest of the community felt. My favorite movies are Power of the Dog, Belfast, Licorice Pizza, Drive My Car, and Lost Daughter. Well, you're going to have a very good day then, Yassi. It was a better movie than I expected, I believe, talking about, excuse me, the Suicide Squad. And yeah, I mean, I remember liking that. I remember liking the end of it when that big creature comes out. That's a lot of fun. Exactly, Quiet Place for Sound. True, true, true. So if you're just joining us, we are running through all the nominees. I'll run through them again, but these are right now the first time ever that we are seeing these. So let's move on to the next category. Best Screenplay. Let me know in the chat what you think should win this and what you think is going to be nominated, but you don't have a lot of time to do it because I'm about to tell you who the nominees are. Starting off with Come On, Come On, Don't Look Up, Drive My Car, Dune, Licorice Pizza, Spencer, The Last Duel, The Power of the Dog, The Worst Person in the World, and Tick Tick Boom. Another full-stacked 10-film category. Dory saying Coda for Screenplay. Unfortunately not. It is not here. Looks like Yassi is also pretty pumped on this, giving me a little bit of a woo or an ooh. Once again, good to see Come On, Come On here. I still need to see that film, but I'm happy that it is nominated. Brett is a little upset that Mass didn't get nominated. I know, unfortunately, it couldn't get in here. I think that probably has to do with the fact that not a lot of people have seen Mass yet, but I think it probably will as time goes on. Yes, better than the first and more focused on story over screen time. Once again, referring to the Suicide Squad. But I'm happy Worst Person got in there. I didn't nominate it. I just watched it yesterday and loved it. I also watched it recently, Brett, and it is very, very good. And this is not the last time we will see Worst Person in the World in this nomination live stream. But in what categories? Only one way to find out. Let's move on to the next category, Best Cinematography. What are you guys thinking for that? Come on, chat. Let me know. Let me know. Dory's saying you saw. Dory was saying that they saw Mass. It was worth your time. Don't sleep on it. I do intend on seeing it because I do intend on watching every single film that was nominated in the Cinemateq Film Awards. And if you're curious, I haven't posted it yet because I didn't want there to be spoilers, but there will be a letterboxed list of all of the Cinemateq Film Award nominees. So you'll be able to check that out and make sure that you're able to watch all of them before voting completes in about, probably a month or so. So it looks like we got Dory saying Pig for cinematography. Brett is Team Macbeth. Hard to argue with those. Sadly, haven't watched Come On, Come On and Worst Person yet. Oh, yes, you must. Especially Worst Person in the World. I haven't seen Come On, Come On yet, but I will be very soon. I love Jane Campion, but I really like PTA's original script for Licorice Pizza. Well, because of the way the nominations were done, you could have nominated them both. Actually, just to go back, I'm not going to go back and double check because we must move forward. Best cinematography. Let's see who it is. Belfast. Ooh, maybe it's not getting snubbed entirely. Drive My Car. Dune. Licorice Pizza. Spencer. The Green Knight. The Power of the Dog. The Tragedy of Macbeth. And West Side Story. A 9-film category. Let me just double check that. Yes, only 9. I believe this is the first nomination for The Green Knight. I also don't think it's the last, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. I was honestly surprised to see Belfast nominated here. I thought for sure that it would not garner enough votes, especially considering how strong all the other films are. And I personally did not like the cinematography in Belfast, but you all disagreed with me and decided to nominate it. So here we are. Honey, I'll be happy if the award goes to any movie, but Don't Look Up. Well, it didn't even get nominated, so you must be pretty happy right now. Macbeth for cinematography. Well, you've got the opportunity to vote for it. Yes, all 3 of mine in, Macbeth, West Side Story, and Green Knight. Well done, Brett. You have been pretty good in a couple of these categories so far. So now, let us continue to the very next category. And before I do, actually, let's just start off by saying that the next category is Best Stunt Performance, and I'll remind you to please like this live stream if you haven't already. We need all the likes we can get to bring in even more people to vote on the final winners of the Cinemateq Film Awards. So let me know, who do you think's in Best Stunt Performance? This is really a category where obviously it started opening up to films that were not being nominated in other categories. I'm sure you've noticed that as we've been going through these, it's a lot of award festival type movies with Spider-Man and a couple of others getting in. But this one is where we start opening up to more of the Hollywood blockbusters, as I'm sure you can imagine. Brent saying Jackie Chan. I don't believe he was in a film this year that would be nominated, but maybe we should do an old school award for Best Stunt Performance and just give it to him for Police Story. Did not see enough movies to vote. Just wanted to see the results. Oh, forgotten. You definitely could have voted. You didn't have to vote in every single category, but yeah, you still could have. You still could have. One of the there was a couple of categories where I actually had to remove IDK as a nominee because people were just putting in I don't know, and there were a couple of categories where it like made it into the top 10, and I was just like, nope, that's not a real nomination, so I'm not going to include it. And it looks like Dory's saying Best Stunt is Shang-Chi. Let's see if it's in there. The nominees for Best Stunt Performance are Dune, F9, the Fast and the Furious movie, obviously, Kate, that Netflix film that almost no one has watched, but apparently enough people have. The Matrix Resurrections. Nobody, surprise nominee. No Time to Die, first time James Bond is showing up today. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Spider-Man No Way Home. The Suicide Squad. And West Side Story. I was surprised to see West Side Story get in here because it's not really a movie that you think of when it comes to stunt performances. But yeah, I guess a lot of the dancing that they were doing, some of the dance fighting, things like that, it's stunts of a kind. So there you have it. Spider-Man for stunt. Well, Yassi, it looks like you've got something to vote for then. And this was another one where this category was another one where I was really happy to have in because we ended up getting a lot of other films nominated that otherwise wouldn't be. F9, Kate, and Nobody jumping to mind. And this also gives an opportunity for No Time to Die, the James Bond movie, to shine and to potentially win something. I don't know who I would pick in this category because I haven't seen some of these films yet. Kate and Nobody, I believe, are the only two I haven't. So I've got some watching to do, as I'm sure we all do. Pretty sure if I tried to dance, I'd need an ambulance. Yeah, that's why it's a stunt. All right, let's move on to the next category. Ooh, King Richard. Dory saying King Richard getting snubbed for best stunt performance? Or are you just saying getting snubbed overall because it hasn't been nominated for anything? I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see. If they had stunts in West Side, then no best actor or actress for them. Just because, I mean, the main actors can do their own stunts. You know, I know you're joking. I know you're having a laugh, but the main actors can still do stunts. Anyways, let's move on to the next category. Best supporting performance. What are you thinking? What are you thinking? Who do you think got in here? And I'll just remind everybody that this is non-gender specific. So men, women, non-binary, all of the people are competing for the exact same Best Supporting Performance award. And of course, it is a maximum of 10. So who do you think's here? Who do you think's here? Who do you think's not here? Who do you think is getting the big old snub? And as an additional question, do you think we are going to accidentally get gender parity, or is it going to be weighted one side or the other? And I'm going to ask that question again when we get to Best Leading Performance, which is coming up next. Looks like Dory is pretty sure that it will be Cody Schmidt-McPhee. I guess we'll have to just wait just a second to find out. I don't know why I'm stalling for time. I just want to get more people in the chat talking about stuff. Please, some mass love. You know what, Brett? I think you might find yourself having a pretty good day once I announce these nominees, but maybe I'm just forgetting. I was pretty drunk last night. Maybe my brain's a little fried right now. Could be. Could be. Troy Kotsur equals snub. Do you think Troy Kotsur is going to get snubbed here, Dory? I guess maybe that's a question we no longer have to ask ourselves because we're about to find out who the nominees are. And the nominees are Endowed for Mass. There you go, Brett, right off the bat. Ariana DeBose for West Side Story. Bradley Cooper for Licorice Pizza. Jesse Buckley for The Lost Daughter. Kirsten Dunst for The Power of the Dog. Cody Schmidt-McPhee for The Power of the Dog. Robin DeJesus for Tick Tick Boom. Troy Kotsur for Coda. Willem Dafoe for Spider-Man No Way Home. And Woody Norman for Come On, Come On. Tell me you saw some of these people getting nominated. Look me straight in the eyes and tell me you thought Willem Dafoe was going to be nominated for Best Supporting Performance for Spider-Man No Way Home. Unless you actually voted for him, I am not going to believe you. Brett is obsessed with that Dafoe nomination. OMG. Yeah, I was pretty surprised when I saw how many votes he actually got. It was pretty wild. Also, really happy that so many people got behind Robin DeJesus for Tick Tick Boom. He had a very good performance in Tick Tick Boom. And that story really doesn't work as well if you don't have him in it and giving a great performance, especially near the end of the film. This is also Mass's first nomination. We do have some crossover with the Academy Awards happening with Jesse Buckley, Kirsten Dunst, Cody Schmidt-McPhee, and Troy Kotsur all being nominated, as well as Ariana DeBose. So yeah, lots of interesting things here. Plus, we have a nomination for Come On, Come On, which I also was not expecting. And in terms of gender parity, I believe it was 4 women to 6 men. So almost pretty close to 50-50 just on its own. Plus we got a lot of people nominated here that were not nominated for either of the Oscar awards. So I think we're doing pretty well. Pretty well. And now, as I attempt to waste more time and get you to interact with me in chat, I'm going to ask you what you think's about to happen for Best Lead Performance. Will we see gender parity again? Who's going to get snubbed? Who's going to get nominated? This is something you're going to have to tell me, chat. We already had one surprise with Willem Dafoe, and we had several others in the last category. What's going to be the surprise of this nomination? Or rather, this category. And if you're just joining in, we're a bit more than halfway through. We still have a lot of the Best Picture-esque categories to go through. The Archive of Excellence, the Best Restoration, the Best Horror, the Best Sci-Fi, the Best Fantasy, the Best Comic Book Movie. So we probably have about 8 to 10 categories still to go. Jessica Chastain equals snubbed. Come on, Jodie Comer. Brett, I'm not going to spoil anything, but I will tell you that amongst the voters, there seemed to be a bit of a discrepancy as to, or not a discrepancy, but a bit of a disagreement as to whether or not her performance was a lead performance or a supporting performance. Whether or not that hurt her, who's to say? And we're about to find out in a second. No Vincent London for Titan. It's true. He did get votes. But he didn't make it into the top 10. Vin Diesel here would be a surprise. For what role? Like Bloodshot or whatever that was called? Penelope Cruz equals snubbed. And Jessica Chastain equals snubbed. All right, let's get into this. Let's see what's going on in Best Lead Performance. Starting off with Agathe Roussel for Titan. I'm personally just going to take a second because that nomination is super fucking sick. It's a good one. All right, next. Alana Haim for Licorice Pizza. Andrew Garfield for Tick, Tick, Boom. Benedict Cumberbatch, The Power of the Dog. Joaquin Phoenix for Come On, Come On. Kristen Stewart for Spencer. Nicolas Cage for Pig. Olivia Colman for The Lost Daughter. Renat Renzif for The Worst Person in the World. And Simon Rex for Red Rocket, baby. Woo! Woo! Oh yeah, Vin Diesel was an F9. Well, he didn't get in. Oh, Alexis just got here. Did you miss much? We're a bit more than halfway through, and I will be going through and recapping all of the categories once we get through this first batch of just like showing you everything that got nominated. Brett is depressed. Brett, why are you depressed? Don't be depressed. Titan Nam felt like a chopstick in my ear. Don't do that, Dory. Don't do that. And also, yes, you're right. No Will Smith. Will Smith is not included here. I will, however, say that the gender parity here was 50-50. So it looks like my worry that they would be like strong one way or the other was unfounded. It seems like we just naturally got to gender parity all on our own. So good for us. Bloodshot was a comic movie. Everyone's getting a movie or show now. That is true. Yassi saying that Denzel Washington for Macbeth. Unfortunately, that did not happen here. Yassi also saying, I wish Willem Dafoe gets an Oscar one day and be recognized for the great actor that he is, but not here supporting for... for the great actor he is, but not here supporting for Spider-Man. Well, we'll have to see how everyone votes on it. So I think that's about everything that everyone had to say, although, Brett, I am interested to know why you are depressed. And while I wait for that answer, we will go to Best Direction. And I'm going to use this opportunity to just kind of apologize. I know for a lot of categories we've done, like Best Costumes, Hair and Makeup, Direction, there are specific people who I should also be naming, but I didn't have the time to do that today. This whole thing actually took a lot more effort than I was expecting. And I will make sure to properly say the names of the people who end up winning when we do the Cinemateq Film Award show thing on I think it's March 26th, 25th. Paul Thomas Anderson equals snubbed. Do you think PTA is going to be snubbed for Best Direction? South is definitely the best direction. Way warmer down there. True. Got to be a little bit south of heaven, you know what I'm saying? Haha, I was depressed because of Jodie Comer robbery. Yes. Yes, yes. Yeah, unfortunately there was some vote splitting going on. She got votes for both best lead and best supporting performance, and I think that if everyone had agreed that she was one or the other, she would have ended up in one of them, probably supporting more than lead performance. But unfortunately, it's not the case. Simon Rex. Oh, I know. I'm super happy about Simon Rex getting nominated. He was my number one pick actually because I really wanted him to get in there. Oh, and Dory thinks that Guillermo del Toro for Nightmare Alley is also going to be snubbed for Best Direction. Well, I guess now is the time for us to find out what is going to happen with that. The nominees for Best Direction are Drive My Car, Dune, Licorice Pizza, Spencer, The French Dispatch, The Power of the Dog, The Suicide Squad, The Worst Person in the World, Tetin, West Side Story. Just look at this group of films. It's pretty gosh darn incredible. The fact that James Gunn is here for The Suicide Squad blows my mind. Also, the fact that Julia Ducournau is here for Tetin is super awesome and sick, and I'm so happy that we were able to nominate her for Best Direction. Not surprised to see Drive My Car, not surprised to see Dune or Licorice Pizza. Really happy that Spencer's here for Pablo Larraín. That guy is super sick. Wes Anderson for The French Dispatch. Steven Spielberg, West Side Story. And we also have Worst Person in the World and Power of the Dog. Like, everything's just happening. So many awesome, great choices here for people to vote on. It's the award season. How can you be depressed? It's my 25 days of Christmas, and it lasts longer than 25 days. We're already like 50 days into award season if you start counting from the Golden Globes. I went with lead for Jodie Comer because that's what they campaigned her for this season. Well, unfortunately, some other people who were nominating Jodie Comer felt differently. And yeah, Tetin, let's go. Oh yes, it's pretty awesome to see Tetin here. All right, glad Tetin is getting the recognition it deserves, says Noah. I agree. And if you're new here, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when I go live. It's almost always going to be Sunday, whether that's reacting to an award show or just talking about movies. And then I'm going to be going live throughout the week as well. I don't know how much, but you can definitely make sure to look out for me. If I do end up seeing like brand new movies on Thursday before they hit the general audiences, I will be live streaming that night and just previewing films coming out that weekend. And while I continue talking, I want everyone to talk to me about Best Restoration, who you think got in here. So just for everyone who's joining us now, going through the nominees for Best Restoration, or at least we are about to, and these are the full list of nominees for the Cinemateq Film Awards, which will be, and let me just double check my calendar. I think it's March 26th is when we hand them out, or when I hand them out. Well, when we hand them out. It's a group effort. I probably should have looked this up before I went live. Yes, the Cinemateq Film Awards will be on March 26th. Mark your calendars. It's the day before the Oscars, so we're going to have a big old party that weekend. Oh, it looks like I'm also going to see a secret movie the morning of the Oscars, which should be fun. Yeah. Super cool. Having a lot of fun doing this. I will say about Best Restoration, I think there may have been some confusion among some of the voters because it seemed like people were nominating films that had been remade this year. And that is obviously not what a restoration is. So I guess I wasn't clear enough when I was actually writing out the nominee ballot. But basically, we're looking here for films that received new restorations that were released in 2021. And of course, the nominees that I'm about to show to you all qualify for that. Dory saying Flesh for Frankenstein equals restoration. I'm actually going to be seeing that restoration next week. And I was supposed to see the restoration of Blood for Dracula on Friday, but I wasn't feeling super great, so I just stayed inside and watched Babylon 5 instead. I was pretty happy I made that decision. Suicide Squad was one half of the movies I saw, and I'm shocked it got a nom for direction. You're not the only one who's surprised about that. Every single Suicide Squad nomination, I was kind of like, really? No way. So, oh, and also got Dory saying SAG next week. Is it next week? Oh yeah. SAG Awards next week. Well, you all know where you're supposed to be right here as I live react to the SAG Awards and talk about how that affects the Oscar race. All right, let's get back to this. Best Restoration. Who do we got? Who do we got? The nominees are Dune. This is not the new Dune. This is the Dune from 1986, David Lynch's Dune. And it had a 4K restoration that came out last year, believe it or not. It's almost like someone thought of the word synergy and was like, yo, let's do some of that. Anyways, the other nominees are Nightmare Alley, also good synergy going on. This one had a Criterion release and a 4K restoration that came out last year. We also have Francis Ford Coppola's The Outsiders, which was, I believe, recut and re-released last year in 2021. So that qualifies. And Possession, the horror film from 1981 that features one of the best screams ever committed to film, as well as just some of the most batshit insane performances you will ever see. One coming from Sam Neill, also best known for his roles in Jurassic Park. And yeah, not much else to say about that. Although I will say these are the only 4 films that qualified. Like I said, there were a number of other films that I had to disqualify because they didn't have restorations come out last year. As an example, someone nominated Uncut Gems, and I guess they thought that because the Criterion put out a version of Uncut Gems last year that it would qualify. But I looked into it, and it wasn't actually a 4K restoration or restoration of the film at all, but just a 4K release of the original release. So no restoration work was done. So it doesn't qualify for that reason. So I had to remove it. Synergy, Like a Boss. Oh yes. Alexa saying best scream, Laura Palmer. You know I'm not going to disagree with you. I'm a big GD Twin Peaks fan. Possession, Milk Dance. Yeah, that scene exactly. Sting and Patrick Stewart in high def, glorious high definition in that Dune restoration. Is a pretty good restoration, I will say. These are all very good restorations as far as I know. I was also very surprised that the Citizen Kane restoration that came out last year was not nominated, but it just didn't receive the votes in order to qualify. So sorry, Criterion, but you have to make do with just one nomination, and that is for Nightmare Alley. All right, what's the next category? Ooh, Best Fantasy Film. I will say there is one here that is going to be controversial, and I'll give you my reasoning for why I allowed it, but when it comes down to it, if you still don't agree, just don't vote for it, because I'm not going to be changing any of these categories. I'm not going to be changing the nominations, regardless of the outrage that I may receive. But I'll try to explain my reasoning. Once again, I will say that when I was going through these and making these up this morning, not making them up because all of this stuff was voted on, but when I was going through these, I might have been a little bit hungover, and maybe my decision-making process wasn't up to wasn't up to the highest of standards. But I feel comfortable with how this one went. Dory's saying your Citizen Kane Criterion disc was corrupted. Well, I hope you got a replacement. When you spend as much money as you do on Criterion discs, like, that stuff's just gotta work. It's just gotta work, you know? No silent from Kino. No, there were no silent films from Kino. Unfortunately, I don't know, maybe, oh yeah, forgotten. I guess you didn't do a nomination ballot, but yeah, there were almost no silent films from what I could tell in the list. So yeah, it wasn't no film had the opportunity to be nominated for that. Ooh, Dory's saying that fantasy equals petite meme. I would disagree with that, mostly because it is more in line with science fiction because of its time travel narrative. And Alex is saying Dune is a fantasy. And there were some instances where there was some cross-pollination between some of these, like, genre awards. I disagree that Dune is fantasy. I think that Dune is science fiction, much more than anything else. And I know that it has, like, fantasy elements to it, but when you boil it down, a lot of those fantasy elements come from world building that is strictly adherent to science fiction conventions. So I don't agree that Dune is fantasy. And so I guess we'll see if I allowed it in here. Who knows? All right, so let's take a look at the nominees for Best Fantasy Film. And they are Encanto, Godzilla vs. Kong. I can't believe that was nominated. Luca, 9 Days, Raya and the Last Dragon, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, The Eternals, The Green Knight, and I think that was the last one. Yes. So those are your 8 nominees for Best Fantasy Film. If you could tell by my chuckling, it was Godzilla vs. Kong that I couldn't really believe that I let in. And the reason that I let it in was mostly for the section of the film that takes place like underneath the earth, like the Hollow Earth type stuff, where like King Kong is fighting Godzilla with an axe or whatever. That to me just reeks of fantasy elements. And very little of that film has anything to do with science. So while I agree that Godzilla vs. Kong could have also qualified for Best Sci-Fi Film, and to be completely fair, I think there are a number of films that qualify for both the fantasy and the sci-fi category that are in both. But to me, Godzilla vs. Kong did enough to be considered a fantasy film, and so I included it. It's kind of weird because like really the only movie that I like personally would have thought qualified for this category would be The Green Knight, since it actually is a fantasy film in like the traditional like Lord of the Rings type way. But you can see how all of these pull from fantasy elements or are just fantasy films in and of themselves. We also have the 3 animated films in Encanto, Luca, and Raya the Last Dragon, and they all absolutely have fantasy elements, or are just straight up fantasy films in their own right. They're just different kinds of fantasy films, different from the Lord of the Rings. So overall, I think this has actually turned out to be a pretty interesting category. I got Brett saying, "Yay, 9 Days getting recognized." Yeah, this is the first time I'd actually heard about it, so I'm excited to check it out. I loved Eternals. I wasn't a fan of it personally, but I'm glad you liked it. I can't remember if I voted for Godzilla vs. Kong for this. LOL. Is it possible to view our submissions? You can try if you still have the link. But voting is closed, so you may not be able to check your ballots, unfortunately. There should be a new Ashlad film soon. Ooh. Belle got snubbed. Yeah, I would have liked to have seen Belle here. I enjoyed the heck out of Eternals. Right on, man. Oh, the axe. Okay, LOL. Yeah. Just the fact that he picks up an axe and tries to defeat like a giant dragon, well, like what is essentially a dragon. I was like, this is kind of a fantasy movie, isn't it? Cool. Godzilla vs. King was fun. Godzilla vs. Kong got there only for the terrible years of COVID. I should have voted 2 movies and a silent restoration. Thrilling. True. Star Wars is sci-fi fantasy. I say it's more science fiction than it is fantasy. Actually, it's more Western than it is fantasy, really. But I know what you mean. Speaking of science fiction film, what got nominated for Best Science Fiction Film? Why don't you tell me before I let you know? I will say, and I won't say which film, but in this category, one of the films, or it was in this category, that a film was picked more than any other compared to any other category. Yeah, it received the highest point total out of any category for a film that won its category in the nomination process. You might be able to guess what that film is. I'm not going to tell you because I don't want to influence voting later on, but yeah, this one was kind of a knockout. And for that reason, because of the 5% rule that I talked about at the beginning of the live stream, meaning that any film nominated would have to get at least 5% of the point total that the winning film of the category got. So this category ends up being much shallower than other categories because of that, because the main film did so well. Norway's upping their film game the last decade. Norway's always been doing well. I guess when it comes to Scandinavia, Sweden is the one that stands out for most people because of what's his name, Bergman. But yeah, Norway's been doing good stuff. Sci-fi equals boss level. I wonder if it got nominated. I enjoyed the heck out of Eternals. I think I already addressed that one. All right, best science fiction film. Let's see who the nominees are. Don't Look Up. That is a science fiction film after all. Dune, to the surprise of, I'm sure, absolutely no one. Spider-Man: No Way Home. The Matrix Resurrections. The Mitchells versus the Machines. And that's it. Only 5 films nominated for Best Science Fiction Film. Passing getting snubbed in overall categories. Yeah, Passing unfortunately doesn't get much, if anything. It hasn't been nominated for anything yet. Who knows if it will? We'll have to wait and see. Ugh. Yeah, this is another interesting category, just because we only end up having 5. And it's interesting because a lot of other films, like The Eternals, I think probably also could have qualified for science fiction because of a lot of the technology at play, right? But it just didn't have it didn't have enough votes. I thought we would have seen Bruce Willis's Apex. I can safely say that Bruce Willis is not nominated at all. I'm okay letting you guys know that Bruce Willis is not here. Spider-Man: No Way Home is good. Yeah, yeah, and I think that's reflected by the amount of times it's actually been nominated. Bet a large percent of films were sci-fi. Yeah, I mean, if you count a lot of comic book films as being science fiction films as well, yeah, the potential list of films was certainly high. But once again, that one film that I'm not going to reveal got so many points that it just disqualified a number of other films. So that's that. Brent voted for Stowaway for this one. I think that one was out of the top 10 even without the points. It didn't get nominated very much by anyone. You might have actually been the only person. So now, Best Horror Film. Interesting category. And I will say, before I show you the nominations, there's a pretty great nominee here. There's a pretty great nominee in this category. If you can guess who it is before I show the nominations, I have no prizes for you, but you'll just be real happy. You'll be very happy when you see what it actually is. Yeah, I don't. This is another category where we don't get the full 10, I'm pretty sure, but we have more than the sci-fi category. And I think there are a number of good choices here. Homo erectus saying Nightmare Alley. You mean the one that you're going to be surprised by if it's here? I won't say one way or the other. Dory saying Lamb. Will Lamb be here? I don't know if I would consider that a surprise nominee, since it is a folk horror film, and it, was not nominated, but it was eligible for Best Foreign Language Film at the Oscars. Like, it's a fairly well-known film that got a wide release in North America. Maybe it's here. Maybe it's not. You know what? I think maybe it's time for us to answer that question. Also, just gonna give a quick shout out to Max Rivera Q, who subscribed to the channel like 14 minutes ago. I'd have to check, but that might actually be subscriber number 700 on Cinemateq. So thank you very much for subscribing. If you're watching this and you haven't subscribed, please do so ASAP. Hit the notification bell. You know how YouTube works. Is Ghostbusters horror? Ooh, well, I mean, it does have a lot of ghosts and it tried to scare you, so could be. Let's stop dilly-dallying and see what the best horror films of 2021 are, according to all of you beautiful people. And the nominees are A Quiet Place Part 2, Candyman, and I'm only going to say that name once, Halloween Kills. I was surprised to see this film here, if I'm being completely honest. Last Night in Soho, Malignant, Spencer. Oh, that's the one I couldn't believe. The Night House, Titan. Yep. Those are your 8 nominees for Best Horror Film. Let me know if you were surprised that Spencer got in. And I was considering disqualifying it because it's not a traditional horror film, but it does have horror elements. There is a lot of sort of haunted house-y type aesthetics going on. You have the Brad, my jaw hit the floor. I assume you mean for the Spencer nomination. Yeah. And honestly, I think it does hit enough of the requirements to be considered a horror film. It's certainly not a traditional horror film. Every year horror category sucks. Are you kidding me? There's a bunch of great films in here. The Halloween Kills one, is probably the only film that I would consider a weak film amongst all these. The Royals are pretty scary after all, says Brent. I agree. I agree. But yeah, I think Spencer does have enough horror elements in order for it to qualify. You have the sort of the mental health of Princess Di, and that's sort of like playing tricks on her. There's things going on with like books going missing or being misplaced or being opened or whatever. So it seems like someone's like trying to affect her mental health. That final sequence where she goes into her old home and it's all broken down and dilapidated. We also get a number of I believe dream sequences that are fairly uh, horrific, and also the treatment of the people. Her treatment by the people around here is also not great. So yeah, I think there's enough elements in Spencer to keep it here, and it's going to be kept here. Also really happy for A Quiet Place to be here. Super pumped that Candyman is here. Really good movie, and I suggest you check it out. This is of course the new Candyman, the remake. Malignant, also super thrilled that it's here, and The Night House, as Dory said, is a must-see film. It's super great film, and also shout out once again to Titan. You're doing great stuff, Julia Dockernow. Don't stop, don't stop. We don't have any Suspiria or Lighthouse, nothing spectacular. I mean, you're not always going to have films that are on the level of like all-time classics. And I know that we don't have that here. Although I would say that the Night House and Titan, I believe, are going to be looked back on as far as horror goes as being fairly important films. And we just, don't have to vote for Halloween Kills since it's not very good. Not that I'm trying to influence you as the voters. All right, best comic book film. Best comic book film. A lot of comic book films to choose from. Who's gonna get in here? Who's gonna get in here? There is a trailer going around right now, which I kind of like how DC is doing this, actually. They're running a trailer that has all 4 of the films that they are releasing this year as part of one trailer. One of them being The Batman, which releases very, very soon, actually. I believe in about a week and a half. So let me know what comic book films you're looking forward to, and what do you think is going to show up here. Also, in general, what do you think about these nominees that we're getting? Do you think this is... Do you think that the nominees are different enough from, say, the Oscars or the other awards show that, this is a justifiable awards show to do? Because honestly, if we were just nominating the exact same films and like picking the exact same performances and films to win, it'd be kind of boring, right? But I don't know. I think we've done a lot of. I think we've seen a lot of films that were not otherwise getting love, and I do like that. I want to see Doctor Strange, the new Doctor Strange. I as well want to see that, especially after the new trailer, because they're doing stuff in that they're doing stuff in that film. I don't know if it's gonna like make me like the MCU again or not, but they're definitely doing things which I enjoy. The stagnant Marvel is the worst version of Marvel. So even if the films are not particularly good, as long as they're like trying to do stuff, I'm usually okay with them. The Batman looks amazing. Probably the movie I'm looking forward to the most. Same here. Hope you like sitting in 3-hour-long movies, because that one is a long one. All right. Best comic book film. Black Widow. The Eternals. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Three Marvel films. Will we see anything else? Spider-Man No Way Home. 4 Marvel films. The Suicide Squad, a DC entry, has appeared. Venom, Let There Be Carnage. And Zack Snyder's Justice League. This was another one that surprised me. And I was considering not allowing it in simply because it is kind of just like a new cut of a film that came out in 2017. And honestly, I think if we were doing this in a different year, like say, 2007 or whenever it was when the final cut of Blade Runner came out, I likely would have said that the final cut of Blade Runner and like the director's cut from 1992, they're too similar to just think of the Blade Runner final cut as a different film. But I think in this case, Zack Snyder's Justice League is so much different than the version of the film we got in 2017 that we can consider it its own separate film. Like it's just very, very, very different. And if you've seen both, you know what I'm talking about. So I did decide to allow it in. And yeah, I think it's I think it's a strong contender, honestly. I think a lot of people enjoyed this film, enjoyed Zack Snyder's Justice League. You should see Gretel and Hansel, very underrated. Is that the one with Gemma Adderton in it and perhaps Jeremy Renner? Because I have seen it and I do like it and it's super good. There was also additional footage shot for this as well. Yep, exactly. Plus, all the color grading is different. The way the story progresses is different. The setup is different. So yeah, it's just much, much, much different. And so I think that makes it a bit different than just a different cut. Yeah, I agree. I agree. All right. What is the next category going to be? Ooh. Best documentary. What could be in here, I wonder? John Carpenter was going to make an image film and shelved it. Oh, really? I mean, I would be really interested to see what John Carpenter can do as a director now, because I don't remember what his last film was, honestly. Like, for some reason in my mind, his filmography basically ends at either Vampires or The Ghosts of Mars. And I, as a John Carpenter fan, unironically love both of those movies, even though they're terrible. Something about Ice Cube yelling out, "Fuck you, you ghosts," or whatever, as he like mows down a bunch of like possessed demon people on the surface of Mars with with a submachine gun. It's just great. It's just great. We got Dory saying the documentary is probably going to have Ascension in it. I guess we're going to know that pretty soon when I start clicking through these. No, the artistic one from Perkins that came out last year. Are we talking about Gretel and Hansel? Starring the redhead girl from It. What? I'm not sure what's going on anymore. The DC movies would be the only ones I'll consider films, not movies. Both have the artistic style of the directors. MCU movies are made by the studios, not directors. Yeah, but they can still be nominated for in these categories. Documentary Ascension, I read that. Oh, The Ward is a John Carpenter film. Yes. That's almost 12 years ago. I wonder why he hasn't been able to make a film since then. Like, I know The Ward was not very well received. Yeah, the one from the redhead girl from It. Okay, we'll look into this after we've done some more nominations, after we've gotten to the end of nominations, because I want to keep this train going. I want to keep it moving forward. So, best documentary. The nominees are Flea, In the Same Breath, Summer of Soul, The Rescue, The Sparks Brothers, Val, Writing with Fire. So it's a 7 nominee category. Ascension is not here. Attica is not here. They were nominated by some people, but they just didn't garner enough points in order to qualify. The redheaded girl from IT is Jessica Chastain Mini-Me. I don't know. Oh, wait. Oh, the redheaded girl from It. Why was I read that as IT? Possession got robbed. The Velvet Underground. I'm sorry. Not here. I can't really remember why this one came down to 7 instead of 10. I will say I do remember that Seaspiracy was nominated, but I believe it either didn't hit the 5% threshold or it was tied at like 10th place with like 3 other films that were outside of the top 10, so it was eliminated because of that. Brett saying glad to see Val get in. Yeah, it's one that I haven't watched yet, but I really want to. Love me some Val Kilmer. He made so many good dumb movies in the 90s. The Saint. Oof. It's a good one. It's a real good one. The Island of Dr. Monroe. Not a good one, but has a fascinating story behind it. The Ghost in the Darkness. Also pretty great. All right. Best documentary. Let me know what you thought was snubbed, if there's any surprises here. First feature. This was a fascinating category. There's one film here that I wasn't aware was a first feature that really surprised me. But happy to see it here. Wasn't mad about it, because I don't think it was pushing anything else out. I'm not sure. I can't remember if this is a 10 category or not. But we will find out once we get into it. How's everyone doing? You see any good movies this weekend? I just watched Double Jeopardy, the Ashley Judd, Tommy Lee Jones film from like 1999 or 1996. Something about crime dramas from the 90s that just that just are great. They're just great. Dory thinks that Pig is going to be here, and Forgotten saying all tomorrow's parties should be in 1,000 soundtracks. It might be. It might be. That's what, the LCD Sound System song? All Tomorrow's Parties? Or is that the Velvet Underground? No, I think that's LCD Sound System, isn't it? Dory saw Sundown and maybe Test Pattern. Or no, Test Pattern was a first feature that was eligible this year, I believe. Forgotten saying I watched I Love You Man with Paul Rudd. Pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, I remember that film being all right. And like I said on Friday, I just watched a bunch of Babylon 5, which I will just remind you is sick and awesome. I forgot how good season 1 actually is. I always thought that it was kind of like not good, but it's actually pretty good. I'm getting to the part of the season where there's a lot more like setup than there is payoff, but man, Babylon 5, so good. Forgotten also saw Out of Singapore, 1932. Well done. Always love it to see people watching old movies. All Tomorrow's Parties equals Velvet Underground, and it's covered a lot. Gotcha. All right, enough talking about things that are not the best first feature. Let's look at the nominees for Best First Feature. And the nominees are Boiling Point, Luca, can you believe it? Mass, 9 Days, Passing, Pig, Shiva Baby, The Harder They Fall, The Lost Daughter, and Tick, Tick, Boom. And I gotta let you all know, this is one of my favorite categories as far as the films that were picked. And there's still a few here that I have not seen. I have not seen Boiling Point, but I'm super interested in seeing it. I haven't seen Mass, and I haven't seen 9 Days. But for the rest of these, I think they're all very well-deserved films. They all deserve to be here. Not really a nomination that I disagree with. The Harder They Fall, I was okay on, but I'm glad to see it here because there was a lot of talented people that were involved in making it. Shiva Baby, I recently watched. Super stressful film, Canadian film, or at least partially co-produced, Canadian co-produced. So I have to point that out. I'm contractually obligated to point out when a film is Canadian. And yeah, just a lot of strong stuff here. And I was surprised at Luca, and I had to look it up and I had to check, but Luca is from a first-time director. It is the director's first feature film. Pretty wild. Okay, Forgotten's telling me the name of a band that did a cover of All Tomorrow's Parties. All right. It was the dawn of the third age of mankind, 10 years after the Earth-Minbari War. That's from Babylon 5, everybody. Oh, yeah. I watched Citizen 4, great documentary, and Scream 5. It was pretty good. Better than Scream 4 IMO. I haven't seen Scream 4 in a while, so I don't know if I would say that Scream 5 is better, but I did really enjoy Scream 5. Saw it in a theater. There were people there. We were all laughing and giggling and screaming at all the right parts. A lot of fun to see that in the theater. Same with seeing Jackass Forever in theaters. It was a really nice way to go back to theaters and watch some stuff. All right. What's the next category? Ooh, Best Animated Feature. Will this be the Disney category all over again, or are we going to see some other films nominated? I guess we'll find out. Who do you think is going to be here, everyone? Let me know. And I'll just use this time to sell you all on Babylon 5 a little bit more. I'm kidding. Although I will say that at some point in the next few weeks, maybe the next month or so, a friend of mine has asked if she could put together a video to put on the channel that deals specifically with a television show. I put a poll up on the YouTube channel, and a lot of you were into the idea of TV content coming onto this channel. So my friend's video is going to be a bit of a test video for that to see if people like it. And you'll have to let me know if you're into it. I'm not going to reveal which TV show she's going to be talking about, but I think you will all find it quite interesting. Dory's thinking that Wrong Got Wrong is going to be here. And Empty Like Box saw Training Day again last week. Right on. Also, I think this is your first time in today's chat. So welcome. Flea getting snubbed. Dory, you think Flea is going to get snubbed in Best Animated Feature? Like, do you know this community at all? Does Straczynski still write? Actually, it was announced not that long ago that the CW is going to be producing a new Babylon 5 show. It sounds like because the CW is being sold, that it may not actually happen, but people at the CW are like, we're going to try and get this through again once the sale is over. We feel very strongly about what you've written and about what this project could mean for this network. So look out for a potential Babylon 5 revival. Brand new, not related to the original one, potentially in 2023. Fingers crossed. I sure hope so. As far as other stuff he's written, I have no idea, but I'm sure he's staying active. He might even have a Patreon account, actually. But yeah, he's doing something. Anyways, best animated feature. Let's check it out. The nominees are Belle, woo, Demon Slayer, Mugen Train, Encanto, Flea, Luca, Raya and the Last Dragon, Sing 2, The Mitchells versus the Machines, The Summit of the Gods. 9 films. 9 films nominated. The oh my goodness. Demon Slayer was a surprise here to me. There was also some people who were trying really hard to get a Neon Genesis Evangelion movie nominated, but unfortunately didn't make it. But I did appreciate that people were trying their best to get like anime films nominated, and of course, Belle, being a Japanese film, also considered an anime. It got nominated, and I believe The Summit of the Gods, while not a Japanese film, is based off of a manga. So, a lot of Japanese representation here. Love to see it. I also have The Mitchells versus the Machines. A bunch of Disney stuff, as I mentioned, but also Flea. Flea did not get snubbed, Dory. I'm sorry, but that's just not happening. And let's see what the next category is. Ooh, best non-English language film. You better let me know what's going on with that one. The hero shows were hits. Probably gonna happen. Yeah, I hope so. I hope Babylon 5 will happen. But it does also seem that CW is very interested in doing like DC comic book shows and not much else. So it's going to be interesting to see how like a sci-fi revival show fits into that network. But we'll see. We'll see. Dory thinking that Hand of God is going to be nominated. I guess we'll have to wait a couple of seconds. Or maybe we won't wait a few seconds at all. I'm getting a little impatient with myself. I'm not going to start blasting through these. I like talking with y'all about these, and I like keeping you in a tiny bit of suspense. Best non-English language film. And the nominees are Compartment Number 6, Drive My Car, Flea, Lamb, Parallel Mothers, Petite Mem, The Hand of God, The Summit of the Gods, The Worst Person in the World, and Titan. Look at this category. Look at what is on display in this category. I know I said previously that the first feature category was one of my favorites, but this category is an absolute knockout, top to bottom, front to back, incredible. Incredible films all over the place. I just saw Compartment Number 6. It's sick. Drive My Car, we all know that's pretty sick. Flea, really great documentary. Lamb, a lot of people didn't like it, but I think that movie was made specifically for me, so I don't care. Parallel Mothers, haven't seen it, but the director, super great. Petite Mem, Celine Sciamma, what more do you need than that? Hand of God, excellent script. Summit of the Gods, another animated film getting nominated in here. Worst Person in the World, we all know everything about that by now. And Titan. Oh my God, Titan is here as well. Fantastic. Fantastic category. I love it. I love it to death. Whew. Last animated feature I remember moving me was Triplets of Belleville. Interesting. Is that a Canadian film? I think it might be. The Summit of the Gods got too much English, should be disqualified. Oh, you think so? So this is something that I wasn't really aware of because I haven't seen it. Would you say that more than half of the film is in English? Because that was kind of the cutoff I was using. Unfortunately for this one, I was sort of relying on people understanding that non-English language film meant that the film could not be a majority in English. But if there is the potential here for disqualification, I don't know if it would elevate something else into it. But that's something I'll try to watch Summit of the Gods soon and see where it's at. Dory, you're saying it's 65% English. Ooh, that could be enough for a disqualification. I'll have to watch the film and let everyone know. But as of now, it's going to stand. The Archive of Excellence. This is the category where we celebrate cinema made from 1991 and before, as we go through and have a bunch of different Cinemateq Film Awards. We're going to keep adding a classic film to the Archive of Excellence. It's going to be our little hall of fame. And so for this Cinemateq Film Awards, we are going to figure out what the first film inducted is going to be. I'm also thinking that because we don't want a Hall of Fame to have just one film in it for like the next 12 months, that we might do a separate Archive of Excellence nomination vote in like July or August. Another little bit of voting to like hold us over, to tide us over until we get into award season in 2023. So yes, really excited for Archive of Excellence and to show you what the nominees here are. Some surprises, maybe. Some well-beloved films as well, but I'll tell you in a second what they are. Forgotten saying that Triplets of Belleville is French-Belgian and another, maybe Canadian. Yeah, I thought it was from like a Canadian, like a French-Canadian studio. Brett saying I don't even remember any English in that movie, being The Summit of the Gods. Well, it sounds like I need to watch it in order to confirm what is actually going on with it. All right. The Archive of Excellence. Let's see what we got. The nominees are, I'm sorry for that very anticlimactic burp, 12 Angry Men from 1957, Barry Lyndon from 1975, Do the Right Thing from 1989, My Left Foot, also from 1989, Raiders of the Lost Ark from 1981. Yes, that is the Indiana Jones film, if you weren't aware. Raising Arizona from 1987. The Empire Strikes Back from 1980. Yes, that is the Star Wars film. The Godfather from 1975. The Silence of the Lambs from 1991. And Tokyo Story from 1953. And I'll just say right off the bat that I personally am a little disappointed that the only non-English language film in here is Tokyo Story. I was expecting a little bit more. It's like we got Alonzo. He's gonna come. He's very close. He's very close. No Love for a Hero. No, it didn't garner enough votes. And I will say, as like a fun little thing about this category, that films number 11 and 12 were both directed by Stanley Kubrick. One of them being The Shining, and one of them being another Stanley Kubrick film, although I can't remember which one now. So if the voting had gone differently even a little bit, we could have had 3 Stanley Kubrick films in this. But here we are. Also, and I know I just said like I'm a little sad that only one non-English language film made it in here, but the fact that Tokyo Story is here, the Ozu film, is fantastic. Really happy that Ozu's getting some representation. I wrote a very lengthy essay on his silent works when I was in university, so super thrilled to see Tokyo Story here. And yeah, a lot of other really great films. I'm like Silence of the Lambs coming out in 1991, being just on the cusp of eligibility. Cool. I also will say that for this category, I did expect a number of the films to come from the 80s, because I assume that a lot of the people who participate in this channel are around the same age as I am, if not a little bit younger. So for a lot of us, the films that came out in the 80s were the films that formed a lot of our, movie loving experiences from that age. I'm talking about Raiders of the Lost Ark and Star Wars. I was a little surprised to see Aliens not be here, because, when I was growing up, that was like the movie that you watched. Oh, Dory's saying the Summit of the Gods version I saw was English dub. My bad, TJ. It's all good. It's all good. But yeah, otherwise, really interested to see how the voting on this goes. I have no idea. How this is going to turn out. I don't even know what I'm going to vote for. Like, I haven't even seen Barry Lyndon, and I've been telling myself that I'm going to see Barry Lyndon in theaters first, but I may not have the opportunity, because I'm definitely going to watch it before I vote. For everything else, I've seen pretty much everything except for My Left Foot, and I'd have to check on Raising Arizona. But everything else I have seen. Yeah, yeah, it's a very good category. It's a very, very good category. We got Peter here saying that Raiders is a perfect movie. It's one of the reasons why I like those adventure type movies so much, where people like go from place to place solving clues. I'm sad that Aliens is in there, but surprised T2 isn't. Maybe we just had very different childhoods from everyone else, Brent. I don't know what to tell you. Next category, the final category, best film. Best film. Does Suicide Squad end up in here? It's been nominated a bunch. It could end up there. Let me know if you think there's going to be any surprises here, any films that you don't expect. I'd love to hear from it. Let's build this anticipation up a little bit. Let's get this going. I saw Raiders of the Lost Ark in the theater for the first time in its recent re-release. It is one of the best movies in my top 5 of all time. Forgotten. He's having himself a little bit of a chuckle. Being the Ricardos is getting snubbed. Yeah. Yeah, it is. Because the people in this community have taste. I mean, you did nominate Belfast for Best Cinematography, which I'm still not over, to be honest. But yeah, I think, if anything, this says to me that this community of people, the people who voted so far, are not as susceptible to like Oscar bait films, especially the Oscar bait films that appeal to the older demographics, people like 60 plus years old, because that's really who Being the Ricardos in Belfast is for. So yeah, we have better taste. You all have better taste. I have trash taste. I was just watching Double Jeopardy earlier, as I said. I have no taste at all. All right. Let's get into this. Let's see who the nominees are for Best Film of 2021. And the nominees are Come On, Come On, Drive My Car, Dune, Last Night in Soho, Licorice Pizza, Spencer, The Power of the Dog, The Worst Person in the World, Tick Tick Boom, and Titan. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Titan beat out West Side Story. What up? Titan is going to surprise. Dory, you are correct. You are correct. It did surprise. A lot of surprises here, honestly. I think it's kind of fascinating that Come On got Best Film but didn't get nominated for Best Direction. Last Night in Soho is something that I did not expect to be here either. I know it's been nominated for a couple of other things, but it just wasn't that, like, to me, it wasn't a film that like blew me away. But apparently it blew the socks off of a lot of other people. Spencer getting in here is awesome to see. Worst Person in the World, Power of the Dog, Tick Tick Boom, very well deserved. Honestly, nothing on this list that I am going to complain about. I think we all did a pretty good job nominating here. Brett saying, haha, none of my nominations got in, but still a great list. It is. And like, it does have some crossover with the Oscars, like in the case of Dune and Licorice Pizza and Power of the Dog. But we are getting a lot of other ones, like Come On, Come On and Titan and Worst Person in the World. And I can't remember if Tick Tick Boom got in for the Oscar one or not, but yeah. And Dory, I will be getting into which films got the most. But first, I have to tell you that you definitely need to vote on all of these nominees. And the voting is going to start. Just give me a second here to do a thing. Just doing a quick thing right now. It's not really related to when the voting actually starts. It's just something that I've been meaning to do for a while, and I just, haven't really gotten around to it yet. And so I'm going to do it right now because it's the best opportunity to do it. So, nothing really to look into, nothing really to do whatever. Oh my God, you can start voting right now. The link was just added to the description of this live stream. So get down there and vote right now if you want to. It is not ranked choice. It is a one choice per. You just got to pick your favorite film in each category, and voting in each category is mandatory, just like the Oscars. So if you don't know, choose chaos and just pick whatever the fuck you want. But the ballot is live. You can vote in it right now. If someone wants to click on that link and let me know that it actually works and I didn't screw it up, that would be great. But you can vote right now. Right now. Now. Do it now. Yeah, so those are all of the nominees. Super, super happy. Chaos, you say. Yes, Brent, you can choose Chaos if you wish. You can just ask me, like, over the next little while, like, out of each category, which one is my least favorite, and then just vote for that one to see if you can upset me. But you will not be able to do that because pretty much every film that we nominated here, I think, is good. So, good luck. How long do we have to vote? That is an excellent question, Brett. I have not settled on a firm date, mostly because the experience that I went through the last 2 days getting this whole presentation ready took a bit longer than I thought. So I was initially going to have the Cinemateq Film Award voting go until the Friday just before, but I'm not going to do that. So I think I'll likely close the voting either on the 20th of March or maybe the 24th of March. In any case, it will be the week of March 21st. I haven't decided on an exact date yet, but you do have about 4 weeks to vote. So you have 4 weeks to watch as many movies as you can. You have 4 weeks to complete your ballot. And just like with the previous ballot, you have the opportunity to go back and change after you have submitted. But once it's closed, you're locked in. So make sure you see as many films as you can. And so now, as Dory was asking, what was the most nominated film? Well, Dory, I think you already got this one right, that Dune was the most nominated. It was. Dune was nominated for 13 awards, and that does not include any of the performance categories, except for stunt, actually. So it did get one of the performance categories. Next up was Spencer with 11, The Power of the Dog with 11, Licorice Pizza with 8, West Side Story with 8, Tick Tick Boom with 8, Last Night in Soho with 7, Drive My Car with 6, The Suicide Squad with 6. Yes, Drive My Car and The Suicide Squad equally nominated films in the Cinemateq Film Awards in the year of our Lord Satan, 2022. Titan also with 6, Spider-Man with 6, and tied at 5, The Worst Person in the World and French Dispatch. And a number of other films earned 4 or less nominations, but I just didn't really want to put them all in here. So these are your most nominated films of the year. There is no other film that got 5 nominations, so these are basically everything from 13 nominations down to 5 nominations. And you know what? It's not a bad list. I also think it's kind of interesting that West Side Story didn't crack this list. This is what, top 13 films, I think, based on the amount that I put in here? 14? 6? Yeah, 13. Dune should get Best Cast Ensemble Award. We're not the SAG Awards, but maybe the SAGs will do that, which is a great way, Dory, for me to talk about how I'm going to be live streaming next Sunday, for sure, live reacting to the SAG Awards. I believe the ceremony begins at 8 p.m. Let me just check. SAG Awards 2022. Yes, it appears they will start at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so I will go live likely around 7:30 or quarter to 8 just to preview the SAG Awards, and then we will be live reacting to them live, as you do, doing live things. So now for everyone who just kind of joined in a little bit late, I'm just going to back all the way up and just go through these pretty quickly. Not really going to be stopping, but I just want to recap for anyone who's joining a little bit late. So we got Best Original Score, Don't Look Up, Drive My Car, Dune, Encanto, Spencer, Spider-Man No Way Home, The French Dispatch, The Power of the Dog, Tick Tick Boom. So if you have any questions or anything like that, make sure to shout them out in the chat. I will address them, but I'm just going to burn through these. Best Hair and Makeup, Cruella, Dune, House of Gucci, Last Night in Soho, Nightmare Alley, Spencer, The Eyes of Tammy Faye, The Green Knight, The Suicide Squad, and Titan. Best Costumes, Cruella, Dune, Last Night in Soho, Nightmare Alley, Spencer, The French Dispatch, The Last Duel, The Suicide Squad, West Side Story. Best Production Design, Dune, Last Night in Soho, Licorice Pizza, Nightmare Alley, Spencer, The French Dispatch, The Green Knight, The Power of the Dog, The Tragedy of Macbeth, and West Side Story. Best Editing, Dune, Last Night in Soho, Licorice Pizza, Spencer, The French Dispatch, The Lost Daughter, The Power of the Dog, The Suicide Squad, Tick Tick Boom, and West Side Story. Best Sound, A Quiet Place Part 2, Come On, Come On, Dune, Encanto, Last Night in Soho, Spider-Man No Way Home, The Power of the Dog, The Tragedy of Macbeth, Tick Tick Boom, and West Side Story. Best Screenplay, Come On, Come On, Don't Look Up, Drive My Car, Dune, Licorice Pizza, Spencer, The Last Duel, The Power of the Dog, The Worst Person in the World, and Tick Tick Boom. Best Cinematography, Belfast, Drive My Car, Dune, Licorice Pizza, Spencer, The Green Knight, The Power of the Dog, The Tragedy of Macbeth, West Side Story, and that's all. Best Stunt Performance, Dune, F9, Kate, The Matrix Resurrections, Nobody, No Time to Die, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, Spider-Man No Way Home, The Suicide Squad, and West Side Story. That's right, forgotten, this is a fast-forward recap. Best Supporting Performance, Ann Dowd for Mass, Ariana DeBose for West Side Story, Bradley Cooper for Licorice Pizza, Jessie Buckley for The Lost Daughter, Kirsten Dunst for The Power of the Dog, Cody Schmidt-McPhee for The Power of the Dog, Robin DeJesus for Tick Tick Boom, Troy Kotsur for Coda, Willem Dafoe for Spider-Man No Way Home, and Woody Norman for Come On, Come On. Best Lead Performance, Agathe Rizal for Titane, Alana Haim for Licorice Pizza, Andrew Garfield for Tick Tick Boom, Benedict Cumberbatch for The Power of the Dog, Joaquin Phoenix for Come On, Come On, Kristen Stewart for Spencer, Nicolas Cage for Pig, Olivia Colman for The Lost Daughter, Renette Rencef for The Worst Person in the World, and Simon Rex for Red Rocket. Best Direction, Drive My Car, Dune, Licorice Pizza, Spencer, The French Dispatch, The Power of the Dog, The Suicide Squad, The Worst Person in the World, Titane, and West Side Story. Best Restoration, Dune 1986, Nightmare Alley 1947, The Outsiders 1983, and Possession 1981. Best Fantasy Film, Encanto, Godzilla vs. Kong, Luca, 9 Days, Raya and the Last Dragon, Shang-Chi, The Legend of the Ten Rings, The Eternals, The Green Knight. And that's it. Best Science Fiction Film, Don't Look Up, Dune, Spider-Man No Way Home, The Matrix Resurrections, The Mitchells vs. the Machines, and that's it. Best Horror Film, A Quiet Place Part 2, Candyman, Halloween Kills, Last Night in Soho, Malignant, Spencer, The Night House, Titane, and that's all. Best Comic Book Film, Black Widow, The Eternals, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, Spider-Man No Way Home, The Suicide Squad, Venom, Let There Be Carnage, Zack Snyder's Justice League, and that's all. Best Documentary, Flea, In the Same Breath, Summer of Soul, The Rescue, The Sparks Brothers, Val, and Writing with Fire. Best First Feature, Boiling Point, Luca, Mass, 9 Days, Passing, Pig, Shiva Baby, The Harder They Fall, The Lost Daughter, and Tick Tick Boom. Best Animated Feature, Belle, Demon Slayer, Mugen Train, Encanto, Flea, Luca, Raya the Last Dragon, Sing 2, The Mitchells vs. the Machines, The Summit of the Gods, and that's it. Best Non-English Language Film, Compartment Number 6, Drive My Car, Flea, Lamb, Parallel Mothers, Petite Mame, The Hand of God, The Summit of the Gods, The Worst Person in the World, and Titane. Archive of Excellence, 12 Angry Men from 1957, Barry Lyndon from 1975, Do the Right Thing from 1989, My Left Foot from 1989, Raiders of the Lost Ark from 1981, Raising Arizona from 1987, Empire Strikes Back from 1980, The Godfather from 1975, Silence of the Lambs from 1991, and Tokyo Story from 1953. And the Best Film category, Come On, Come On, Drive My Car, Dune, Last Night in Soho, Licorice Pizza, Spencer, The Power of the Dog, The Worst Person in the World, Tick Tick Boom, and Titane. And exhale. All right. Those are your picks for the Cinemateq Film Awards 2022. I see that Dory has already finished voting. My goodness, that was fast. Hey, you're the first person done. We've got one response in so far. Let me just refresh that. Yep, still just one response. I will be filling out my ballot on probably probably a live stream just before the nominations are nominations close. Maybe that will be when I actually close them. It will be that one. The archive choices are surprising. Yeah, someone led some stuff. Oh yeah. For Alonzo saying about the archive, what a bunch of normies. Where's Persona 2001 and Kurosawa? Come on, guys. So remember when I said that there was 2 Kubrick films at 11 and 12? The one that I couldn't remember was 2001: A Space Odyssey. So it was The Shining and 2001: A Space Odyssey at 11 and 12. Unfortunately, they didn't qualify. I think I put The Shining in as part of my nomination ballot, but yeah, wasn't enough. As far as Persona and Kurosawa, I don't know what to tell you. I think there was actually someone who, in their nomination ballot, did all Kurosawa films for the Archive of Excellence. But you know what? That's what you do. This is what happens when you got a bunch of people voting on stuff. House of Gucci deserved better. I think it got pretty much exactly what it deserved. Yeah. All right. So those are our nominees, everybody. I'm gonna flip it back to this screen so I can say hello to you. This is called my hello screen, if you can believe that. All right. I am a little bit tired after all of that. Oh, hello. I didn't think that you would be popping up like that. I need to get myself a proper arm for this thing, so it's not just like this random chrome thing sticking out the bottom. So thank you very much, everyone, for voting. Please remember to vote in the Cinemateq Film Awards when you're able to, when you feel comfortable seeing a lot of the films. I still have to make the letterbox list, which will contain all of the films in it. I don't know how many total films there are going to be, so that'll be interesting to find out. Are the nominations for the Archive of Excellence category eligible in the future? That is something that I am still considering how it will work. For pretty much every other category, if a film has been nominated this year, it is not eligible to be nominated in the following year. And this, I think, is important because there are some films that came out in 2019 and 2020 that would have been eligible for the 2021 awards because that was when they were released in a lot of other countries. For example, Judas and the Black Messiah was a film that was at the Oscars last year. Definitely a 2020 film, but it got its main release in 2021 in a lot of other territories, and that was when a lot of people saw it. So there could have been cases where Judas and the Black Messiah was nominated because I would have counted it as such. The Demon Slayer film as well was initially released in 2020 in its home territory, but it was released in North America in 2021. So there could be cases where some of the films nominated here, I don't know which ones they would be, because I think a lot of these films have hit most markets, but say Titan got released in 2022 in India, and a bunch of people in India saw it and voted for it for the 2023 Cinemateq Film Awards, it would be disqualified because it has been nominated in the 2022 awards. How that works for the Archive of Excellence, I'm not really sure. I think maybe it'll have to be like, you see, I don't know, because like if all things being equal, this community could grow by like hundreds of people by the next time we do this, right? So I don't want to say that certain films are not eligible just based on that. Because like with so many new people coming into the community over the next little while and over the next year, it could just be that I don't need to put a restriction on which films can be nominated for the Archive of Excellence. I think what I might do, just for the sake of keeping things interesting, is that if we do have an Archive of Excellence nomination thing for, say, the summer in like July or August, I may not include any of the films that were nominated for this one, just so we can get in some different films, some different perspectives. Although, yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I'm still not set in my opinions on that. So if you guys have some suggestions or some ways you'd like to see it go, please let me know, because I will definitely consider that. But for now, I think the Archive of Excellence is kind of an open question. It could very easily be something where like films are not eligible for the following year, but then become re-eligible in like say 2024. So like if Empire Strikes Back doesn't win, then it wouldn't be eligible to be nominated in 2023, but it would be eligible again in 2024. Because once again, I do want to get sort of a broad, as broad a possible of films that can be nominated for it. Just so we're not always like ticking off like one film from this list of 10 that we already have, you know? I don't want us to just be ticking that off as we go along over the next few years. So restricting past nominations will be a problem later. For the Archive of Excellence, I agree because people are going to want to do certain things. But as I said, I do want to sort of get as many different films as possible nominated, and I'm hoping that it's something that just takes care of itself. Where as more people join the community and like have their and want their opinions to be known on that, like different films just get picked, and yeah. So next year, if it turns out that like basically the 9 films that didn't get nominated didn't win are nominated again, I may have to do something about that. But I honestly don't think it's going to go that way. And we've got a year to think about it. So, we don't have to make a decision today. Um, I don't think that affects how people will vote either, right? Like you're just going to be voting for your favorite one out of those 10. So, yeah, I think it's something that we can discuss as things go on, as time moves on. But yeah, I'm not. I just want to get as many possible films in there as I can. So yeah, that's that. Whew. All right, is there anything else that we want to do tonight, or do we just want to call this a bit of an early stream? Um, I will do a quick check of the film news just to see if anything interesting happened over the weekend. It would be kind of nice to see if there's any box office news for Uncharted because I am interested to see like how it does. Um, because yeah, my theater was mostly empty for it. Actually, yeah, I guess the answer for that would be on Box Office Mojo, wouldn't it? Latest details. Ooh. Oh wait, that's for Monday. Oh, Uncharted made about 44 million. Not bad, not bad. That's more than I thought it was gonna do, and that's probably just about as much as Sony needs to get in there. Forgotten asking about short films. Whether we have nominees for those. For this one, no. If that's something that we want to have added later on, we can. Um, but I'm kind of of the mind that a lot of people just won't know what the short films are, and so it'll be a very shallow category, and it may not even get any nominees at all. Like I don't even know what I would have nominated for short films. Like it probably just would have been what the short film that was in front of Luca maybe, and that would have been it. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Please share your thoughts on the latest Variety Fair cover featuring Nicole Kidman. She wore a Britney Spears schoolgirl outfit. I guess maybe I'll just show everyone what you're talking about, just so we all have an idea. Vanity Fair. I prefer the one with Benedict Cumberbatch where it looks like he just milked a couple of gooses. Can we get the full one here? So yeah, basically Nicole Kidman, um, as Dory said, essentially in a Britney Spears-esque schoolgirl uniform, super small, very revealing. Um, I honestly have no real thoughts about this. Good for her. I don't really know if there's anything negative that I would say about this. Like, I'm personally totally fine with her wearing whatever she wants and being on the cover of Vanity Fair. I think maybe the one criticism you could have on this is that I think it probably needed to be fairly heavily airbrushed in order to get her to looking like this. But that is, of course, nothing new with magazine covers, especially fashion or similar types of magazines. So it's like, I don't really care. Good for her. I hope she had fun. She did what? She did this. She did this. She wore this on the cover of Vanity Fair, or rather, she was told to wear this for Vanity Fair. I'm always a bit confused, or like not really sure what amount of control the people, like the stars, the cover photos, the subjects have. I don't know what kind of control they have over what they're wearing. Like if she just showed up and was like, "Here's what you're going to be wearing," and she was like, "Okay," or if like they know in advance in any kind of way. So yeah, I don't really know. I don't like any of the portraits. LOL. The concept of the photo shoot is so weird. What was the concept of the photo shoot. And can we see more of them? Oh yeah, the Hollywood issue. Did they do all of them? Okay, so here's Idris Elba in a swimming pool in a car. I don't mind that one. That's kind of fun. And Idris Elba is just like super dope. We got Kristen Stewart, newly engaged and nominated for her first Oscar. What is she doing here? Is she on like a diving board, but is over the city of Los Angeles? I guess is what they're doing. I don't really know what to make of this. Uh, okay, okay. This one's weird. Literally looks like he just milked some swans and is now walking away because he's like, I did such a good job milking these swans. Oh no. And then we've got Michelle J. Rodriguez from Tick Tick Boom. Posing with a tiger. I hope that tiger gave his consent to be there. Otherwise, this is animal exploitation, and I'm not a fan of that. But once again, I don't really know what this has to do with cinema, other than there is a cinema photoshopped into the background. Probably didn't sit her down with a tiger in the middle of a street in order to get that. Simu Liu, or Lee, no, Simu Liu, I think. He's just jumping over a no walk sign. Why? What is the point of this? And then we've got, is this what, Penelope Cruz? Penelope Cruz just laying down on some spilled paint, or is that paint part of the photo? Yeah, I think that paint's part of the picture underneath it. But she's kicked off her shoes. She's totally fine with using art as a as a place to just lay down. Interesting. And then we got Andrew Garfield here. I don't know what the hell this is. What am I supposed to do with this? How am I supposed to react to this? Hollywood lifestyle self-satire? I guess? Maybe? I don't know, man. I don't know what the hell is up with that. Yeah, that looks like it's all of them. So weird. So weird. I don't even know what to think of the Nicole Kidman one in the context of all of the other ones, you know? Like, it's all just so weird. I don't know. I guess I just don't really understand magazine cover anything. Not my bag, not my thing. Don't really know what's going on. But yeah, there is that. So, now we know all about that particular controversy. The W Magazine photos were odd also, but they were so much better IMO, and they had like 20 actors. I wonder if we could see that easily. W Magazine covers? Cover stars ranked by how much pain they're in. Oh my god, Vulture. Is it just gonna show me? Ooh, is that Henry Golding? Nice. I don't know if he's on a cover though. That's just like a random thing that I saw in there. W Magazine Best Performances. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Yeah, I already like these a lot more. Wait a minute. No, this is wait, what year is this for? Because a lot of these people were not in movies this year. What? It's called Best Performances 2021. Is it the one with like Riz Ahmed and Andra Day and Lakeith Stanfield? Because they were in films last year? And like Vanessa Kirby is here as well, and Sacha Baron Cohen and Gal Gadot. Yeah, I guess so. Was there not a Best Performances 2022? Oh, Best Performances 2022. Oh, there we go. Okay. Let's take a look at these. Adelana Haim. Yeah, I think I found the right ones. Madame Gaga is amongst them. Uh, no, I think I got it. I think I got it. So this one. So we have Kristen Stewart, uh, all in yellow. Adam Driver, in here as well. Gemma Chan. What was she in? I can't really remember. Also got Lady Gaga, Denzel Washington. This Kate Blanchett one is weird. Like she's pulling major Pee Wee Herman vibes from this photo. Can you see that? Yeah, just above my head. That's a weird one. Jessica Chastain, kind of looking a bit like Wednesday Addams. Uh, Benedict Cumberbatch, kind of looking like Sacha Baron Cohen in that photo. Actually, are they supposed to be uh, like related, or like these are other characters that they're supposed to be ripping on? Because I can't really. Oh, Gemma Chan was in Eternals. True, true, true. And we got Jennifer Hudson here as well. Senya Sidney, Dakota Johnson. Yo, that does not even look like Dakota Johnson. Are we sure that's Dakota Johnson? Oh, I love that they have Tilda Swinton and Honor Swinton Bryan together in this one. That's pretty sick. Anything else? Ooh, we also have Alana Haim and Jake Gyllenhaal and Anthony Ramos. Not to mention Ruth Niga. The star of Hand of God. Nice. Kirsten Dunst just watering some stuff. Andrew Garfield doing a bit of magic from the looks of it. Tessa Thompson, that's sick. Look at this dress. I hope she wears that to the Oscars. Jared Leto. Hmm. Hmm. Jared Leto, huh? Cooper Hoffman, kind of looking like a bit of a like a detective going to Oxford. Simon Rex looking mighty nice, actually. He looks good in that white suit. Leslie Odom Jr. Nice. There's a lot of these, yo. Red Rocket star Susanna Sun. Oh yeah, she played the younger girl in that. Looking good. Jodie Comer. Like those black dresses. Lauren Ridloff. U.S. Navy retro. Oh, these are all retro styles. Gotcha. Cody Schmidt McPhee. That's a wild one. That guy is like he's kind of like the male version of Anya Taylor Joy, eh? Just like he's got like such an interesting like look to him. It really reminds me of Anya Taylor Joy, like almost otherworldly in the same kind of way that Anya Taylor Joy doesn't look like she actually was born on this planet. Co-star Amelia Jones, nice. You got Zazie Beetz, fan of hers. Jonah Hill, what the hell is he wearing? Jamie Dornan, looking pretty stylish. That little kid from Belfast is here too. And then I think that's about it. That's about all. Thought Leto was busy with his island cult. Does he have an island cult? Is that something I can Google? Jared Leto, island cult. The cult of Jared Leto. The Jared Leto cult. Is it a real thing or an exaggerated rumor? Is this what you're talking about, Forgotten? Jared Leto is a famous musician and actor, and over the years, he has earned a soft spot in the hearts of many fans. He is the lead singer of the band 30 Seconds to Mars. The Jared Leto cult has been making headlines in the better part of the year. This is after he allegedly started a cult in Croatia. What is more interesting is the fact that his followers are not referred to as fans, but as the echelon. So what exactly is the Jared Leto cult? Is it a real thing or an exaggerated rumor? It all commenced in 2019 after it was reported that the actor and singer Jared Leto had started a real cult. However, back in 2013, Jared told the New York Times that his cult was a joke after a journalist commented that he had such a cult following. It seems the musician took the bail seriously and started summer camps in 2015. He started summer camps? What do you do at the Jared Leto summer camp? Who goes to the Jared Leto summer camp? Jared is a renowned singer and actor. Okay, we know who Jared Leto is. We don't need to read through that. What is Mars Island? Mars Island is a 3-night all-inclusive festival experience. You get to relax and enjoy yoga amongst the trees, take a dip in the pool, graze at the stars, catch a midnight screening, and enjoy some intimate performances with the 30 Seconds to Mars cult band. Is Jared Leto in the 30 Seconds to Mars cult band? Or is it like just the band that plays for the people who attend the cult, and he's not always there? In 2020, Jared Leto and his band 30 Seconds to Mars, and I think his brother is also in the band, started what is believed to be a cult. The band invited the Echelon to a retreat in Croatia where Leto was dressed in white robes. They hosted hundreds of their devotees for 3 days. The band performed music, movie screenings, and yoga sessions. If the only movies they showed were Jared Leto movies, that's fucked. That's fucked up. That's the cult that I would not want to be a part of. Because he has been in some not great films. Yeah, he's in 30 Seconds to Mars. Word. I know Jared Leto's in 30 Seconds to Mars, but I think his brother also is as well, which may be what you were just confirming. The band tweeted photos of their leader guiding hundreds of people who were dressed in white. The photos depicted Jared Leto, Jesus imitation, wearing an all-white ensemble. The photos were captioned, "Yes, this is a cult, Mars Island." What the shit? The package of the retreat cost almost $1,000 and went all the way up to $6,500. What do you get? What do you get for $6,500? Do you think Jared Leto allows you to massage his feet for $6,500? The highest tier gave Echelon an exclusive VIP experience, foot massaging. The Camp Mars, which was held in September 2019 in Malibu, was not a cheap affair. A 2-night outdoor camping experience cost applicants $1,000. The ticket buyer had to carry along their tent. For those who wanted to have their own space for the VIP section, they parted with about $6,500. All right, everyone. Goals for this channel. Get us to the point of monetization where I can spend $6,500 on the Jared Leto retreat, and I will make a video about it. By the way, it was not the first time the band was embracing the phrase "this is a cult." It has appeared on the band's merch as well as in their music videos. Yeah, I think I kind of remember that. I used to be a fan of 30 Seconds to Mars, FYI. For quite some time, they have been playing journalists' minds and telling them that they have a cult following, so it could be true to say that Leto and his band decided to give the phrase more literal meaning. I guess this is from one of the performances at the cult, and they're doing their little 30 Seconds to Mars hand signs, which also appears to be very cultish. Oh boy. Interestingly, his diehard fans do not mind spending a fortune to hang around with the musician on an island. Jared has depicted that his music, fashion, and films are not only part of his celebrity identity, but also his artistic statements that give more meaning to Jared Leto religion. Jared Leto has a couple of collaborators who are all Hollywood celebrities. These include his older brother, Shannon Leto, boom, Darren Aronofsky, who he did Requiem for a Dream with, Emma Ludbrook, Kanye West, Alessandra Michelle, David Fincher, Alex Honnold, Tommy Cadwell, Brian Rodinger, and Willow Perrin. And then we get into stuff about his brother, I guess. So wild, so weird, so crazy. It's just like Burning Man. Yeah, but I also feel like it's not the same as Burning Man, you know? Like, there are some key differences here. They're just hippies. I don't know. I don't know if I would say that they're hippies. Even if it's not, it looks like one. Yeah. It's kind of like, you know, if it walks like a duck and talks like a duck, then it's probably a duck. If it looks like a cult and acts like a cult, it's probably a cult. Even celebrity worship is so messed up. Yep. Yeah, I agree. This is pretty weird. Oh my god, the North Face and Gucci did a collaboration? Why? Gross. Honestly, Disney freaks are more cultish than this. Oh, Disney adults is definitely a problem that we are going to have to deal with in the future. I talked about in a previous live stream about the Disney like town thing that they're going to be setting up soon, which is super weird in my estimation, and how it's like, why would you want Disney as your landlord, you know? Just as I asked the question, why would you want Jared Leto as your cult leader? Why would you want Disney to be your landlord? Like, can you imagine the House of Mouse being in charge of your like homeowners association or your condo board? No. Who would subject themselves to that? So strange. So it looks like we got some people here who were not here perhaps during the Cinemateq Film Award announcement. I encourage you to head back in the stream and check out that. I do a very rapid fire version of it about, I don't know, an hour and a half after the stream starts. And let me know if you want to chat about anything in particular. I didn't really plan much for this stream beyond the reveal of the nominees. So we're going to look at some of the film news. Already took a look at these ridiculous Vanity Fair covers. Talked a little bit about the box office. Good for Uncharted for doing as well as it did. But for now, I'm just going to go back here. What up, everybody? It's Big Face TJ. The Storyville thing is for age 55 plus. Oh, is it really? Okay, I didn't see that in the press release that I saw or that I was reading from. On I guess Deadline was reporting on it. People spending lots of money, travel to nowhere for one person, wearing the same things and sharing the same philosophies. Yeah, it doesn't sound like a lot of fun, does it? But I guess if they've got the money and they want to spend it, they're certainly free to do so. It's just very strange. I don't think Tick Tick Boom qualifies for original score as it's adapted. Oh, David's here. What's up, Dr. David? Um, so the songs certainly in Tick Tick Boom are from the play, but I think the score of the film is an original score. I think. I think. Disney Cult wouldn't shock me and probably have better benefits than Alito Cult. I mean, the Disney Cult exists already. It's just not as centralized as cults usually are. Like there's no leader of the Disney Cult. It's just a lot of people who trip over themselves to do anything or trip over themselves when it comes to anything Disney related. So, as I mentioned before, Uncharted topped the box office with 44 million. Tales from the box office. Nick Cage's Ghost Rider flopped its way to a franchise 15 years ago. Oh, that's obviously old. I'm gonna check one thing with Tick Tick Boom, just to see if they actually have a composer credited for the score. Tick Tick Boom. Music by Jonathan Larson. Ooh, Dr. David, you might be right. Country, running time, release dates, music. Tick Tick Boom soundtrack was released. Physical CD is scheduled for release on December 3rd, 2021. All Jonathan Larson songs in the film were produced by blah, blah, blah. The songs were mixed. It was also released as a single along with the album's pre-order day. Ooh, okay. I might actually have to take that one out. Because, yeah, if it doesn't qualify, then then I would have to remove it. Wish I had realized that before, because I don't like now that the actual ballot is out there. I don't want to make changes to it, but only Dory has done his ballot so far, so maybe that's okay. Best original score, Tick Tick Boom. I would also have to see which one would then slot in if not for Tick Tick Boom. That's another one. Cinemateq Film Award. Yeah. See, that should. Oh no, that's not what I wanted at all. What would it be? What would it be? No, this one. Yeah, I want that. Best feature film. Let me see. Let me look at the Taylor assorted final rank. For best score, I think score was down here at the end. Score. Let's see. So Last Night in Soho. So if Tick Tick Boom doesn't qualify, then it would be Luca. Luca would be the one that would replace Tick Tick Boom if I disqualify it. Which is not to say like that's not a reason for me to disqualify one way or the other. Just saying that like that is the one that would take its place. Wild. All right. Don't know what the hell Last Duel is doing in best screenplay. Hey, gotta ask your fellow cinephiles because they're the ones who voted on all of it. What do you think about the Elvis movie? It looks pretty cool. It's now on my anticipated list. I heard about it, but I didn't really see what it was all about. Because I think there's what? Oh yeah, Baz Luhrmann is doing it. Oh, and there's a trailer for it. I have not seen the trailer for it. Maybe we'll pull that up here in a second. So yeah, I have no idea. If Nick Cage started a cult, I would join. We will have the opportunity to watch that new Nick Cage movie at some point this year. The Impossible Weight of whatever. Maybe that will start a cult. Gotta go. Phone in Rice, but I wanted to see this. Good night. All right, Forgotten, you have yourself a good one. Come back for the next live stream. Keep an eye out for when it will be happening. Next Sunday for the SAG Awards for sure. Maybe before that. Yeah. I really want to answer this question about Tick Tick Boom for original score, though, because I thought there would have been music outside of it that would have been composed for it, but it doesn't look like it. Let's go to the IMDb for it. Tick, tick, boom. Actually, wait, is it best original score or best score? I can't remember how I... Yeah, it's... Oh, but then how did I put it in the nominee thing? Because if it's just best score, then it doesn't necessarily need to be original or not, which I know is kind of a sneaky way of getting around it. How did I write it here? I wrote best original score. All right, I might have shot myself in the foot on that one. The trials and tribulations of trying to do something like this. So let's see. Tick, tick, boom. IMDb, full cast. Let's see if there's a composer in the credits anywhere. All cast and crew. Writing credits, cast. So I got to imagine there's parts in the film where they would have wanted like original music just to make sure that it fit properly. Casting, art direction, set direction, costume design, makeup department, production management, art departments, sound department. Would it be listed there? Nope. Special effects, visual effects, stunts, camera and electrical, casting, costume, editorial, location, music department. Music editor, digital recordist, supervising vocal, executive producer, score coordinator, music supervisor, conductor. Ah, there's no composer listed here. The plot thickens. Music engineer, vocal coach, additional crew. I guess I'll just do a quick composer. So many aspiring composer and lyricists in the credits. Yeah, there's no actual composer listed. So I think it's fair to say that there is no... Yeah, it doesn't have an original score, so I've got to remove it from the ballot. Thank you, David, for catching that. Hopefully these people haven't responded. Best original score so far. Okay, no one's voted for it, so that's fine. So let's just remove that quickly and put in Luca. And everything was fine. All right, all right. I'll have to put a note on that somewhere. In the description, maybe? No. Whatever. We all know what happened. There's evidence of it. Nick Cage and Mando in a movie I'm in. Yeah, I'm excited to see that one. I'm excited to see it. Not just because Mando's in it, but because I really want to see that particular film. All right, how about we take a look at this Baz Luhrmann Elvis trailer. Let me just get YouTube up and going. Baz Luhrmann Elvis. Yes. Wow, that thing's already got 6 million views. Oh, Tom Hanks is in this movie. Why is Tom Hanks in this movie? All right. Let me just get going. Let me check to make sure that the audio isn't playing on something else yet. That's fine. Turn the desktop audio back on. Cool. Switch back to this. Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah. Let's get part of that screen just totally blocked out by my face. Oh, you gotta love it. All right, here we go. Baz Luhrmann's Elvis.
There are some who'd make me out to be the villain of this here story.
Is that Tom Hanks talking?
Are you born with destiny? Or does it just come knocking at your door?
He's a young singer from
Is that a
Memphis,
Shazam
Tennessee.
reference like the Captain Marvel stuff?
Give him a warm hayride
God
welcome.
damn it, WB. Quit it with your synergy.
Mr. Elvis Presley. Get a haircut, buttercup.
In that moment, I watched that skinny boy transform into a superhero.
Oh, Tom Cruise. What is that makeup? wild how they're using like way different music that's not Elvis
I
over
wish to
top of
promote
that.
you, Mr. Presley.
Uh-oh.
Are you ready to
This looks like we've detected copyrighted audio and video in your stream. Your stream may be temporarily something or other. Just gonna pause that for a second. Maybe it'll like me a bit more. I hate this idea that like, oh yeah, people reacting to this video might get like taken down while they're live streaming. Like no one likes that.
fly?
I'm ready. Ready to fly.
Tomorrow, all of America will be talking about Elvis Presley.
President, try not to move around so much during the tape.
I can't move, I can't sing. Some people want to put me in jail. The way I was moving.
They might put me in jail for walking across the street, but you're a famous white boy.
The way you sing is God-given, so there can't be nothing wrong with it.
Senator Kennedy has been shot. Martin Luther King has been shot to death in Memphis.
Tragedy, but it has nothing to do with us.
It has everything to do with us. Reverend once told me, when things are too dangerous to say, sing. I'm gonna be 40 soon, and nobody's gonna remember me.
It does look pretty good. Like, I mean, the look of it is
I need
good.
to get back to who I really am.
It certainly feels like a Baz Luhrmann
How
film.
are you, Oz? I just gotta be making the most of this thing while I can.
Long
It's
ass
gonna be
trailer.
over in a flash.
We are the same, you and I. We are two odd, lonely children reaching for
Who is Tom
eternity.
Hanks playing in this? And why does he need to look like that? Oh my goodness.
The greatest show on earth.
Coming January 24th. All right, there we go. Baz Luhrmann. Yeah, I mean, it looks like the actual look of the film, the cinematography, pretty interesting. Pretty into that. As far as performances and how it's going to play out when it's actually released, I have no idea. No idea how that's going to go. Like, if you remember back to Luhrmann's last film, The Great Gatsby, had a lot of very interesting visuals in it, a lot of stuff that you could look at and be like, yo, that's a pretty cool shot. That's a pretty cool moment. But the film itself, not the best film, right? So I think maybe we'll end up with another case of this where it's a good-looking Baz Luhrmann film, but whether or not it all fits together well, that we will have to wait and see. But yeah, I'll check that out. If the length of the trailer is any indication, the movie's going to be like 4 hours long or something like that. Hopefully not. Yeah. But yeah, positive vibes, positive vibes all around. You know what I'm saying? Nothing but positive vibes. I'm just gonna keep looking through the film news, see if there's anything else that maybe we want to talk about. And if there's anything else that you guys want to talk about, you let me know in the chat, and I will talk about it. YouTube, stop warning me that you're gonna stop my stream because of the copyrighted music and stuff I'm showing isn't even up anymore. Cody Schmidt McPhee is in this. Tom Hanks is playing Colonel Tom Parker, Elvis's manager. I think that's one of those situations where, like, it would have been okay for them to just have Tom Hanks look like Tom Hanks and not put on a bunch of makeup to look like Colonel Tom Parker. Something weird about all of that makeup on Tom Hanks in that role. Just doesn't really sit right with me. Apparently Tom Hanks, speaking of Tom Hanks, is in a movie called A Man Called Otto, which will be coming out in Christmas. So you got that to look forward to. Just saw something else talking about like a Star Wars hotel, and it's like there's too much Disney around. Well, Olivia Colman, best yet another version of Princess Diana on her way to another Oscar. Ooh, interesting take. Francis Ford Coppola to spend his own $120 million on a new film. I don't care about the financial impact. Imagine having $120 million to to spare for you to make a movie. Like, my first question would be to him, like, are you sure you can't do it for 80? Maybe give part of that extra $40 million to me, and I'll just live a comfortable life forever, Mr. Coppola, please, sir. But no. Looks like we also got a Red Band trailer for the new Foo Fighters horror movie, which I'm looking forward to seeing. Hopefully I'll be able to see it this week. It's called Studio 666. Looks pretty fun. Fallout TV series adds handsome man Walton Goggins as a disfigured ghoul. That's TV news. We don't need none of that. Apparently, Kelsey Grammer has joined a film called Jesus Revolution. The Kingdom Story Company and Lionsgate film inspired by the true story of a national spiritual awakening in the early 1970s and its origin within a community of teenage hippies in Southern California. All right, Kelsey Grammer, still getting work. Anything else? David Brenner, editor on Justice League, Independence Day, and more, dies at 59. Wow, he died young. R.I.P. to him. I wonder what else he has cut. Because he would, like, if he did Justice League, he still would have been active quite recently. David Brenner. Career. Oh, he's written some books. He's done some television. Wild. Unfortunately, there's no real list of... Wait, is this a different David Brenner? Editor. Film editor. What? Oh, okay. It's a different Wikipedia article. Haha. All right, so for Oliver Stone, he edited Talk Radio, Born on the 4th of July, The Doors, Heaven and Earth, just a bunch of Oliver Stone stuff. World Trade Center. He also cut The Day After Tomorrow for Ronald Emmerich, Identity and Kate and Leopold for James Mangold. He cut Independence Day. He cut Fear. He cut The River Wild. He cut the Wall Street sequel, one of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, Man of Steel, as well as Justice League and Batman v Superman. And he was the editor on Avatar 2 and 3, so that will be a posthumous release for him. What do you think of possible Austin Powers 4? Personally, I'm into it. Just please make it good. If that's being based off of like the Super Bowl commercial that came out with all of the Austin Powers characters, no. Absolutely not. No, I really hope they don't do it. I honestly don't think that the comedy that you get from Austin Powers works in the modern day, you know? I just don't really want to see it. And I think the what's his name? Why did his name just fly out of my head? Mike Myers. I think he's probably rich enough where he doesn't need it. Mike Myers said it's been in discussions. Oh, I hope not. Just leave it alone. We don't need more Austin Powers. And yeah, I just don't know how that character fits in today's world. Like, even in 1999 or like the late 90s when those movies were coming out, it was still kind of cringy to see this dude like always trying to pick up women and shit like that. And I think in today's world, it's either going to have to be very self-referential in that way, or they're just changing the character entirely, which is like not going to please anybody. So I just don't know why they would do it. Oh my God, the original Austin Powers had a budget. Oh no, this is the series. Okay. I thought this thing was about to tell me that the Austin Powers first film had a budget of $112 million. I was going to be like, hell no, it didn't. Yeah, it made first Austin Powers movie, $16 million budget, made $67 million on it, but it made a lot of cash in the VHS market. That's the reason why we got Austin Powers 2, because the rentals on Austin Powers and the word of mouth on it were so strong. But yeah, in response to that, Peter, I really hope not. I really hope we don't get Austin Powers 4. Ooh, here's something interesting. It's just gossip bullshit, but apparently Scott Eastwood said that Shia LaBeouf was volatile on the set of Fury and that Brad Pitt had to intervene. I've also heard that Shia LaBeouf was being very oh, what's the word? He was being very that style of acting. What the hell is wrong with my head? Not meta. Shit. Help me out, guys. Why is my brain so dead? Method acting. Yeah, method acting. He was so method in that he just smelled terrible the entire time, and everyone hated him because of it. So it doesn't surprise me that yeah, thank you, Brent. Method acting. It doesn't surprise me that he's a bit volatile. MGM remaking German sensation System Crasher with Channing Tatum to star. His free association producing with the picture company. I wonder if he'll direct that as well. He's kind of into directing now, and it looks like Dog is going to do okay at the box office. I think it's pulling in something like $16 million, which for a lower budget film like that is not bad. Netflix's Texas Chainsaw Massacre has a post-credit scene. I'm not going to tell you what it is because I haven't watched it yet. But there's that. I also just saw up here, yeah, there's the title for this review for Texas Chainsaw Massacre. New sequel gives the middle finger to an important legacy. Weird. So they're saying that, like, the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre is, like, not deferential or isn't, I don't know. It kind of like, yeah, it gives the middle finger, I guess. That's probably a good way of putting it. I haven't seen it yet, so I can't comment on it, but that's wild. Because usually a lot of these, like, legacy sequels or whatever, they do, or they are deferential to the original film. But, what? This is a weird category. The Penis is this year's breakout performer, from Pam and Tommy to The Power of the Dog. Way to go, Penis. I always knew you had it in you. What a headline that is. Let's see. We got people in the chat. Yes, Austin Powers is one of those characters who is meant to be critical of a shameless misogynist whilst at the same time being celebrated for those who don't get the irony. No place for Austin Powers in the Me Too world. I feel bad for Shia and any child actors. I'm sure there's a lot of abuse that gets swept under the rug. I mean, yeah, if you watch, what was the name of it? Honey Boy? That's supposed to be based off of Shia LaBeouf's childhood. So you can see the ways in which he was not properly looked after from that age. Do you think we'll ever see Deadpool 3 or even Deadpool in the MCU? I mean, Deadpool 3 for sure is happening. The one thing that you can count on from Disney, they are not going to leave money on the table. They know that they can make a Deadpool movie for like $100 to $150 million. It'll gross in the $500 to $1 billion range, and then they can probably put him in the MCU. I would be honestly really surprised if, with all of the cameos that we are supposed to be getting in Doctor Strange 2, if Deadpool's not there, that would surprise me, because he seems like the perfect person for that, who can just like walk into a scene, say something funny, and then walk out completely. Like, he says something about Doctor Strange being able to do magic and then makes a dick joke and then just walks out of frame. Like, that's perfect for Deadpool. That makes a lot of sense to me. But yeah, we're definitely going to get a Deadpool 3 eventually. Like, Disney's not going to leave that money just sitting there. But since Disney bought Fox, Deadpool might be too R-rated. I think they've come out and actually said that that they would do Deadpool 3 and it would be rated R. Like, they kind of understand what works about the character and why people love it. It was kind of like an anti-Marvel film while still being a Marvel film. And like, once again, Disney will absolutely make money in any single way that they can. And especially now that they have the that section of Disney Plus that's for like R-rated films, or like the Fox library, they'll just put Deadpool 3, they'll put Deadpool 3 in there and it's fine. So yeah, I don't really see any sort of like downside. Pretty sure Feige already said that they're doing it and it will be rated R. Yeah, for sure. Isn't Deadpool just as problematic as Austin Powers? I don't know. See, when my recollection of Austin Powers, I haven't seen the Austin Powers film in a long time. I guess I'm not remembering them as being as satirical as you're saying they are, Dr. David. So, or being as critical as they are. I always felt like those films were just a celebration of how the Austin Powers character was. or at least trying to play it for jokes, but also not necessarily uh, uh, criticizing it that much. In the case of Deadpool, I think it's very clearly satirical, and a lot of it is meant as like biting criticism. But at the same time, you could argue that like it's only as smart as say like South Park, and a lot of the criticisms are meant more in the realm of like, well, of like a kind of the South Park way of criticizing media and culture. So I don't know. Maybe he is as problematic as Austin Powers. I don't really know. I probably just don't care. Is it true the Avengers movies are done after Endgame? I haven't seen anything on the schedule for Marvel that points to an Avengers film. Although I think they are like in the process of kind of building the team. But yeah, let's take a look at Marvel Phase 5, I guess. Or just, I don't know, the phases would be nice to look at. So yeah, Phase 4. What do we still have to come out for Phase 4? We've got Thor, Doctor Strange, Black Panther, The Marvels, Guardians of the Galaxy, Ant-Man and the Wasp, and Fantastic Four at a to be announced time. But from the looks of it, it'll probably be November of next year, which is why we're probably going to get some sort of Fantastic Four hint in the new Doctor Strange film. We don't have any release dates for like the Phase 5 films, which include like the Blade film, the untitled Deadpool film, an untitled Captain American sequel, an untitled Shang-Chi sequel, another untitled mutant-centered film, which is of course the X-Men. So there is a chance that like Fantastic Four functions as like the Avengers style ending of this one, or with the amount of characters that we still have access to, being Shang-Chi, Black Panther, Captain Marvel, Thor, Ant-Man and the Wasp. There isn't really. I guess Thor would be like the big one out of all of those. But they have enough people to do a team, and they still have Hawkeye. They also have the Kate Hudson, younger Hawkeye as well. So yeah, I think there's stuff that they could do if they wanted to do an Avengers. They might go the way of doing like Young Avengers or Dark Avengers. Although I don't know if they would do that, but they certainly have that possibility. They haven't announced anything, and based on the schedule I'm seeing right now, maybe imagine if it's Avengers versus the Fantastic Four. That could be fun. I guess we will have the Young Avengers coming up. Yeah, I think that's kind of a safe bet. If it is going to be Avengers, then I think Young Avengers, maybe not calling it that, but having it be like the young kids, like the Kate Hudsons, and who else? I think we're gonna get Ironheart at some point, right? The young female Iron Man person, West Coast Avengers. I don't know if they would call it West Coast Avengers, but yeah, there's gonna be something. The Avengers with that lineup are likely done. There are other teams and different Avenger members. Yeah. I mean, especially with Tony Stark being done, you're not gonna have like Avengers. The Avengers Tower and things like this. So maybe it is a different team. Maybe they do start focusing it on Fantastic Four being the first family of Marvel. Who knows? Right? It would be a lot easier to tell if we knew when like Blade was coming out, right? So if we know that Fantastic Four is going to be part of Phase 4, and we knew its date and we knew Blade's date, then we'd be able to see if there's like a release window in between the two of them, and that would pretty much give us our answer. Whereas right now, Blade might be the movie that comes out of Fantastic Four. Although I think they probably want to have something, like some event, be the end of Phase 4. Whether or not that's Fantastic Four, I don't know. But they probably want like a big deal film to be the end of it. And right now, it looks like it is Fantastic Four. If it's something else, could be. It could be a new Avengers film of some kind. X-Men versus Avengers, Dory. Don't joke. It could happen. Just give all of those people like enough money to have them come back, especially Hugh Jackman. But no, they're probably going to start with a new X-Men team as well. I'm really excited for Blade. Yeah, Mahershala Ali is Blade. I'm pretty in for that. The director they've got is Bassem Tariq. Why do I know that name? Oh, he did Mogul Mowgli. Nice. That's the Riz Ahmed video, or the Riz Ahmed movie that came out in 2020. You hear the voice of Professor X in Doctor Strange too. Yes, you do. In the trailer. In the trailer. So I don't count that as a spoiler because they put it in the trailer. But yeah, we don't really know what the context of that is going to be. I've heard people online suggest that it's going to be the Illuminati, which is a group of kind of like the higher ups of Marvel. So like Professor X, Doctor Strange, the leader of the Fantastic Four. Who else is in the Illuminati? Illuminati Marvel. I just want to hear a joke about ice skating uphill in the Blade film, of course. Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill. The fact that it's specifically ice skating, like why couldn't it just be skating? I'm sure that's also difficult. All right, so the Illuminati is made up of, what is it? Doctor Strange, Mr. Fantastic, Namor, Professor X, Iron Man, and some dude in all black. Who dat? Who dat? Let's see. The first meeting, Iron Man, Mr. Fantastic, Namor. Oh, it's Black Bolt representing the Inhumans. Well, the Inhumans aren't really they're not really a team that we talk about anymore. Oh, Black Panther was also a part of it, and Doctor Strange was there. So yeah, I wonder who would be in it for the MCU. Professor X makes a lot of sense. Doctor Strange makes a lot of sense. I don't know if they would have Thor because he's not the brightest dude. Gotta remember these are all like supposed to be very smart people. Namor, I guess, but he's not in the MCU. Black Bolt, no. Black Bolt would probably be replaced by someone from the Eternals, maybe? Cersei, perhaps? I don't know. So yeah, I don't know how they would do the team of I don't know how they would do the Illuminati in the MCU. Maybe that's how they introduce Namor, actually. Are you looking forward to Moon Knight? Yeah. I have this. I have a group thread with a couple of other people, and the two of us have just like every time Moon Knight comes up, we all just in all caps say Moon Knight. Super pumped for that, because it's just such a kind of a strange character, and I think it's Marvel's attempt to have a kind of Batman-like character. And it looks like they're going to do a lot of like weird mythology stuff as well. Yeah, I'm going to watch it. It's probably the only Marvel TV show that they've released so far that I'm actually excited to watch. Whether or not it comes off or not, I don't know, but I have faith in Oscar Isaac. As long as he's not put in like a giant purple suit a la Apocalypse. So yeah, I'm more excited for that than pretty much any other Marvel TV show that's come out so far, including all of the Star Wars ones, which have mostly been misses for me, except for like the first season of Mandalorian. Alrighty. Let's see. Any other film news? Who wants some film news? Oh my god, looks like we've gone through almost all of the film news. Tom Hanks, Robert Zemeckis, and Eric Roth have a Forrest Gump reunion with graphic novel adaptation. Oh my god. Oscar Isaac is always good, except in that X-Men movie where he plays Apocalypse. That was a travesty. Although I don't blame him specifically for that because that movie was just god awful. Like I don't think anyone could have saved that film. All right, let's mark all those as red. Anything new pop in? No, it doesn't look like it. So that's all the film news, ladies and gents. Ladies, gents, and cinephiles, I should say. So the time is about 8:30. We still got a decent amount of people in here. It looks like people might be joining a bit late. If you're here for the Cinemateq Film Award announcements, those happened. Those happened at 6 o'clock. You're a little bit late. I did do a quick run through of all of them around the 1 hour and 30-minute mark. I just like speed run them, I guess, sped through them. And the ballot to vote on the Cinemateq Film Awards, the final ballot, the link is in the description below, so you can go down there and vote for what you thought the best films of 2021 were in a cornucopia of categories. So I hope you will do that. You have at least a few weeks to do that. I'll probably be closing the voting on March 20th. There's a shot I'll be able to like live react to the ASC Awards, the American Society of Cinematographers. I don't know if it's going to be live stream, but we might be able to check out their Twitter thread or whatever. That probably will end up being the final day to vote, because then that'll give me 5 or 6 days to actually get ready for the Cinemateq Film Awards, get everything set up the way I want it to be. I'm gonna do some stuff. I want to try to make it seem as much like a real award show as possible, because it is a real award show. So now that I have all the nominees, I got to start putting some clips together, if you know what I mean. Yeah. I also got to start arranging all my guests and making sure that they're vaccinated, because, you got to do that for the Oscars. TJ, have you seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre on Netflix? I haven't watched it yet, and I'm not I'm not in a rush to watch it, if I'm being totally honest. I may check it out this week if I have kind of a free night. I think this week is actually kind of a slow movie-going week for me, so I may have the opportunity. Oh, yeah, I gotta watch that too. Yeah, it is kind of a slow movie-going week for me, so I may stay in and watch stuff. Although, what's playing at TIFF right now? What's playing at TIFF this week? Looks like it's just, oh yeah, Parallel Mothers is at TIFF this week, so I'm definitely going to be going to see that sometime this week. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow, because I can probably go to like, oh no, they're not. Yeah, they're not open on Mondays. Oh shit, they're open on Mondays again. No way. And they're showing the 4K restoration of Godzilla at noon. Y'all, I might have to go to that. I was kind of thinking of taking tomorrow off because I spent so much time today getting this live stream ready. So maybe I'll go see the 4K restoration of Godzilla at noon, and then go see Parallel Mothers at 3:40 or after that. That could be a really good day. Oh, and they're also showing Poison Ivy on a 35mm print at 6. Yo, do I just do a triple bill at TIFF tomorrow and see Parallel Mothers, Poison Ivy, and the original Godzilla? Oh, man. That sounds like a good day to me. I love TIFF so much. Oh, and the screenings of Godzilla and Poison Ivy will be free for me, because that's something new that TIFF has started to do. For all of like for all the films that are not new to theaters, it's just free for members, like regardless of your membership level. So that would mean I'm only paying for one ticket and I'm seeing 3 films. Oh my gosh. That might be something I have to do. Wait, what are some of the other why are they showing both of those on a Monday though? Because they're usually like, they were closed. Like, I guess it was a slow day for them. And why are they showing Godzilla at noon on a Monday? Oh, tomorrow's Family Day. It's a holiday. Oh shit, I forgot about that. It's literally a holiday in Ontario tomorrow. God dang. I just went to see it because it has a Tesla in it, and $5 says it being an electric car is some kind of plot point. There's a shot in the trailer with them at a gas station. Oh, yeah, in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, because it's a bunch of like young influencer types who are probably like out to save the world. Which is a good thing to do. Cool. Yeah, I mean, that's a good reason to watch it. You'll have to add it to your own personal library and check it out. If you do watch it soon, let me know how it is. I'm positive that it's bad. Like, after watching the trailer, I cannot imagine it being good. But who knows? Maybe it'll have some redeeming qualities in it. Dory's saying it's President's Day in America, KKK, tomorrow. Don't run into any of those KKK people when you're celebrating President's Day. Yeah, man. Should I just take the whole day off and see 3 films at TIFF? And the Poison Ivy being a 35mm print, that's pretty wild. I might have to do that. I'll have to check to see what the seating is like, because I still don't want to sit next to people. I'm going to hate it, I'm sure. It's just not my kind of movie. I can tell. Yeah. Those kinds of horror movies, it's yeah, Yeah, it can be real hit and miss. What else we got a TIFF going on? Moments of Perception with Barbara Sternberg and Jim Shendon. That's part of the See the North one. That's interesting. I'm not a big fan of experimental films, so I don't know if I would go to something like that. Oh, and on Friday they start showing the Oscar-nominated short films. So I could go see all of them from the looks of it. Yeah, documentary, live action, and short. All right there. Oh, and they're showing the fucking 4K restoration of Fatal Attraction on Friday too. God, I really want to see that. Although I think I might actually have other things planned already for that. Where are we? Oh, no. Sick. All right. Wait, no, I'm seeing Blood for Dracula on Saturday, I think. Who knows? I'll have to double check my my schedule again. Oh yeah, no, sorry. Flesh for Frankenstein Friday. Yeah, I'm seeing that. So that'll ooh, could I do Fatal Attraction then get out to that other theater, I wonder? Ooh boy. Could be very tough day. Also got the Plastic Dome of Norma Jean. Oh yeah, that's like a never before seen film or something like that. Part of the Midnight Madness thing. They're playing it at 8 o'clock on what day is that? Saturday? Sick. They're also doing I'm a Fugitive from a Chang Gang at 3 o'clock. And there's a new Canadian film called Scarborough coming out. So that might be a triple bill day for me. Oh, God. So many things to watch. So many movies. So many movies. So many good movies, which is a great thing. Oh, yeah. And they're screening of The Red Shoes. I'm going to have to try to get into that, too. Boy, oh boy. A lot going on. A lot going on, everybody. Let's do a quick check and see if War in Europe has broken out yet. Anyone got any news on that? If War in Europe has broken out yet? Russia closes airspace over Sea of Azov starting at midnight. Well, that's not good. U.S. has intel. The Russian commanders have orders to proceed with Ukraine invasion. Roughly 75% of Russian conventional forces deployed against Ukraine, U.S. official says. Awesome, awesome, awesome. But nothing about the actual invasion starting. So hopefully everything is okay still, and we can still avert war in Europe. Oh, boy. I'm too old to be drafted, right? Right? I'm probably too old to be drafted. They wouldn't want me fighting in a war anyways. I'm a pushover. Okay. On that cheery note, I think that's about all that I am going to be talking about. So I think with that, I am going to bring this live stream to a close. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining in. I'm going to be posting the clip part of the nominations tomorrow, so you'll be able to go back and recheck the nominations. I'll have to put a note in on Tick Tick Boom being disqualified from original score. So yeah, that'll be that. Tom Hanks was in his 40s in Saving Private Ryan. Like, the actor was in his 40s. I think he was playing a much younger person. I hope. God, I don't want to be drafted. Please, no. All right. So yeah, that's about it for the live stream. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you much for joining in, and keep an eye on this channel. All of the places where I post stuff, Twitter, Discord, on YouTube itself, for information on the next live stream. Definitely going to be streaming on Sunday for the SAG Awards. And keep an eye out for anything before that, and probably some other content as well. We just have to wait and see. Thank you again, everyone, for joining me. I appreciate you, and I will see you in the next live stream. You better watch some more movies and tell me about them. That's the law.